Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a great episode of Coach Me Coach Podcast, episode 24. Coach riding solo today, man. My man Dom is off this week. Got to take care of some business on this side. So I appreciate everybody coming in. We should have a pretty good one tonight. I'm going to open up the phone lines, talk to the people. But as you know, on this show, we talk everything college football. We talk about the previous week games, and we talk about the upcoming games, man. We had a lot of good things going on. Let me know if you guys can hear me clear so we can get this thing rocking and rolling. I already got people in the building. Brother Jay Blaze in here. He says the team. That's right. Coach Hayes and the team. That's what we're calling the folks that like to follow our podcast. So I really appreciate it. Coach Hayes and Dom Smith, Coach Me Coach Podcast number 24 in the building. That's right, baby. I think I made a mistake on Twitter and put 23, but it is 24. IMAX currently in here as well. So I appreciate that. Like I said, let me get a thumbs up real quick. Let me know. We already got 15 in the building, huh? People don't like to jump on if we ain't talking about them Canes, baby. But there's a lot more to talk about it. Let's go. Slow folk. Hashtag CWO. Appreciate you, man, with the thumbs up. There it is. All right, here we go. Who that dude? Where you at, baby? I ain't seen you in a while. Told you, Coach BK was going to get us back on track. You weren't lying. And when I opened the phone lines, I want to talk to you about that too, man. A lot of people gave him a lot of flack about, coming in and taking some of them recruit pictures behind old boy. I don't even know if that dude is on the team or not. You got to let me know who that dude. But, yeah, hey, Brian Kelly doing his thing, man. He ended up he's lost 2 games, lost to Tennessee. Which was a big game, of course. They rolling right now, and they lost to Florida State. But other than that, hey, they put Ole Miss to sleep, knocked them out the box, and hey, they doing their thing, man. They put a number 7 ranked Ole Miss out, 45-20, a convincing win. So that's huge right there, man. So like I say, there we go. I was about to get started. Hey, Janelle in the building. Hey, everybody, what's going on? First lady through the smoke, only lady, and the only person with a blue wrench on this channel. So if y'all acting up in the chat, she gonna check you. That's all I'm gonna know. Hey, check that chin, Ellen. Don't be right here. Just go ahead and just slap that chin right quick. Let's talk about some of these games here before I open up the phone lines. We talk a little bit. UVA and Virginia. I'm sorry. UVA and Georgia Tech. 16-9. I actually watched that game, doing a little bit of research for the upcoming game. I know Hurricanes got UVA coming up and Georgia Tech as well. Let me tell y'all something. It wasn't a great game so far as scoring and all of that, but it was a battle of the bottom. I'll put it that way. It was a battle of the bottom, and UVA ended up pulling it out over Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech, since they fired Coach Jeff Collins a while, had been playing some good ball, and they just couldn't get it together, man. So they struggled with UVA. UVA pulls that out. Miami sees them coming up here in next week. Ohio State and Iowa. It looked a little rocky, it seemed to be at first, but Iowa State pulls it out convincingly with a 54-10 win. Tennessee does easy work over UT Martin in this deal. Clemson and Syracuse. Let me tell y'all something, guys. That was a great football game. Clemson ends up pulling it out there at the end. But let me tell you something. Syracuse played them to the wire. And I have to say, Coach Dino Babers at Syracuse, he's been there a while. He was under a lot of scrutiny. But he got them rolling. They playing good. A lot of that goes to Rondé Gaskin Jr. For those who know that name, his father played for the Dolphins as well, man. But that big old dude catching some balls, they're going to be a problem as well. Alabama puts in easy work. Again, we talked about LSU beating Ole Miss. And I want to talk about it. Like I said, who that dude? I want you to come in, please. Let's talk about it in that sense, because by him being a first year, not first time head coach, but first year at LSU, he brings up some issues and he brings up some questions. that I want to talk about on here, and I want to post some things. And this is not a Miami show, but we may have to talk some overlap in here. All right. Oregon. Oregon puts to sleep UCLA 45-30 in that deal, man. Look, Oregon rolling too. And this is a first-year head coach and a first-time head coach. Hear the pattern. It's coming, y'all. Hear the pattern. It's coming. Texas. Texas lose to Oklahoma State 41-34. I did a breakdown on that game, good, bad, and ugly. For some reason, nobody wants to watch it. I think it doesn't even have 200 views. So do me a favor, man. It go a lot of work going to these videos. And I do it not because of the other teams and fan bases. I do it for people who just like football as well as for those fan bases, because we do want to broaden the horizon here on this channel as well. It is Coach Hayes Football, not Coach Hurricanes Football. You understand? Those are different. I'm always giving my Canes they love, but guess what? There's a lot of football out there, right? So why get a piece of the pie when you get the whole doggone thing, if that makes sense? Okay? But I did a breakdown on them because they played extremely well. Coach Sarkisian and his offensive play calling does well. And for these Cane fans in here, go watch the protection. I've been talking about that. Go watch the protection. Something to behold. And Quinn Ewers, the reason Quinn Ewers is, I want to say, the same class as Tyler Van Dyke. Quinn Ewers is the same classification as Tyler Van Dyke. And he's out there checking dudes, moving cats around. So you need to look into that. But big shout out to Mike Gundy, man, getting that W at his home field. Penn State puts Minnesota to sleep. All right. Let me look at some of these bigger games here just to talk about them, man. I miss my man Dom. He has so much knowledge when it comes to just football altogether. Trying to go down all this list of all of these schools. You know, I got to get to ours. Louisville beats Pitt. All right. Malik Cunningham comes back off of concussion protocol. Was out, I want to say, 2 weeks. Comes back and put a show on, and they put Pitt to sleep. South Carolina and Texas A&M. Texas A&M is going to be a topic. So if there's any Aggie fans in here, please call in. I want to hear from you as well. But South Carolina, and guys, I can't make this stuff up. I forgot what show I was watching. And they were talking about South Carolina and how well they do in the month of October. Can somebody, Coach Hurricanes Football, sounds like merch. I love it, Ellen. You might be right. Might be my face in the eye of the storm. Mad as I don't know what. But yeah, Jeff Sims did get hurt in that Georgia Tech game. You're right. He is a big part of the offense. You're 100% right. Appreciate that, Edward. Good call there, Coach. Good call. But what I was saying was, I can't make this stuff up about South Carolina. I don't know how many of you all follow me on Twitter, but maybe a month or so ago, one of their players, I think the running back, had a great game. He was the player of the game. And can anybody put in the chat what they call their player of the game? Like, what is the title of that award? Anybody know what the title of that award is? I can't make this stuff up, guys. I can't make this stuff up. But anyway, I know it's a little delay, so I'll give you a few seconds to get that in there. But if anybody can tell me what that is, I'll definitely post it up here, man, as well. But very interesting to find out. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. Nobody knows? Come on, man. Edward, you got South Carolina got KO for a TD and A&M fumbled on that 20-yard line. Like, that really, really helped them with that. Yeah. But they still end up winning that thing 30-24 when they should not have even won that game, in my opinion, just how bad it's been. But anyhow, since nobody's put it in there, YouTube might ban me for this, for even saying what. This is not my stuff. So their player of the week is called the Cock Commander. I don't want to get canceled, y'all. So please, nobody cancel me. Please don't send me in. But that's what they call him, the cock commander. Can anybody say? Like, and I understand they're the Gamecocks, and I get it. I totally understand it. But because you're the Gamecocks, why can't you just call it the game commander? How about something like that? I don't know if I want to be player of the game. If I'm the cock commander, I don't know if I want to be the player of the game that 20 years from now I can show my kids, look, son, your dad was the cock commander. Huh? What are we talking about here? So that brings me to October. Edward says the chant, let's go Cocks, coach, they clowns. King Cock. I can't make this stuff up, y'all. I can't make this stuff up. But anyhow, so back to October, so I can get through the rest of this and I'm open up the phone lines and talk about some deals. I heard, I guess I forget what radio show I was listening to, but they were talking about their winning record in the month of October for South Carolina. Guess what they call it? October. Anybody in the chat would like to guess what they call October in South Carolina? Anybody? Just take a guess. Anybody? I don't care if you're wrong. Anybody? Nobody wants to guess? Y'all up here laughing, but nobody wants to guess. Thank you, Ty Collins. Thank you. Cocktober. Guys, let it go. Let it go, please. Cocktober. I'm going to let that go. So anyway, pushing on. And of course, the Miami Hurricanes lose to Duke 45-21. And that's there. I want to look at the next week. I'm going to pull out a few games, not big things. I want to know in the chat, what do you think a big matchup is coming up next week? Because a lot of bye weeks going on right now. Tennessee is rolling. They have to beat Kentucky in this deal, and they have to try to escape a little bit of injury when it comes up, because the following Cocktoberfest. Cocktoberfest. But anyway, Tennessee has to beat Kentucky to go on to play Georgia between the hedges down there. That's going to be a tough one right there. That is going to be a tough one. So even though Kentucky's down a little bit, they started off tough, but they still was, I think, ranked 19th. Who knows, man? But I really think Tennessee looks good. It's hard to play those games week in, week out, week after week. So that UT Martin game really helped them out with recovery time and so forth. Georgia plays Florida. I think they should be able to put them to sleep as well. Penn State, Ohio State is a big game that, you can say what you want about the Manny Diaz defense, but I believe Penn State, correct me if I'm wrong, has only lost one game. They're 6-1 right now against a 7.
Get ready. Our most popular.
Get off here, Ad. They're 6-1 compared to playing against a 7-0 Ohio State here. Let me see if I can go through a couple of these. I'm trying to see. It would have been Ole Miss, Texas A&M would have been tough. Florida State, Georgia Tech. Go Georgia Tech. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave that one alone. Let me look at a couple of more of these games to see what's going on. A couple of people here on bye week. Bro, we're not even, Can I be honest with you? Miami not even on this whole list of teams playing, bro. We playing Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia. So that game, I believe, comes on at 12:30, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I may open up the lines here just a little bit. Let me see if I can find the phone number. Here we go. I don't have this screen set up. So the number's scrolling right here at the bottom. Right here, 321-328-8235. You're more than welcome to call in. Here's what I want to talk about as we go through this deal. I want to talk about first-year head coaches, and I want to talk about they doing too much, coach. Yeah, they doing too much. LSU Bama. I'm not sure what you mean, who that dude. But anyway, phone line is there. You're more than welcome to go ahead and call in. But here's what I want to talk about. I would like to talk about some first-year head coaches, not necessarily first-time head coaches, but first-year head coaches, and how they're faring compared to other people. I tell you all the time I don't want to make this a Miami show, but that is a part of this. Like I said, we want to spread this out because I think there's the narrative going around I think is really unfair to a lot of Miami players, right? And people can agree, people can disagree, people can agree to disagree. I'm cool with that. But what I don't like about it, and what I don't like about the finger pointing now, because that's the biggest part. Everybody needs to find a particular group to blame of why football teams are bad. And here's the problem. You will never be able to pinpoint exactly why football teams are bad because there's too many moving parts. And to now blame a lot of people, not everybody, because you never speak in totality, but a lot of people are blaming the players. They suck. They're soft. They're this. But then you look at other programs getting in there. They're first-time head coaches, first-year head coaches, and their teams are producing at a certain level. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. Somebody says, give it time, coach. Teams will figure out his defense, then they will be in trouble. They already catch on his play call. He's talking about Manny Diaz at Penn State. Well, by the time they figure out, maybe the season will be over. Big shout out to Ms. Bloom in the building talking about live it. Yeah, I bet you I live it. Bama comes to Death Valley next Saturday. All right. So Bama comes out to live it. That's hilarious. I'm beyond livid. I'm beyond livid. I'm going to let that stay there, man. Shout out. Y'all know who it is. But anyway, QB says, speak on the coach. Well, let's talk about it. Somebody call in. I want to have a dialogue. I don't want to sit up here with a monologue. I don't want to go in and just strictly talk about this. But I have to say this. I believe everybody, when it comes to catastrophic breakdowns like what we're seeing in Coral Gables, everybody from the water girl to the head coach to the upper brass has a part to play in this. Y'all may disagree with that, but I promise you. Something somewhere has been broken down, and that's what it is when you see things like this, when you see these kind of results. Like I say, you look at Brian Kelly, been a head coach for a long time. Well, I don't know if he was at Notre Dame for 13 years, 14 years, something like that. Decides to go to LSU, start over a new program. And guess what? What does he do? He's come out, he lost 2 games. Let me see if I could pull up that deal. And their previous coach was Ed Orgeron, right? So Ed Orgeron leaves out of LSU. Think about this. They went 15-0, probably one of the best college football teams of all time. The following year, 5-5, that was the COVID year, 6-7. Right? They went out 6-7 and fired Ed Orgeron 6-7. And now they're 6-2. So what kind of players are those? I'm just asking a question. 15-0. A lot of those players leave to go to the draft. A lot of those coordinators leave and dip. He goes 5-5, 500 a year during the COVID year. Okay, we give him an excuse. Then he goes 6-7, under 500. His following year gets fired. Brian Kelly comes in, and now they're 6-2, and they only have 2 losses: one to Tennessee, the number 3 ranked team in the country, and a Florida State team, which was I don't really remember that game. I'll be lying to you if I remember that game. But it's 6-2, and they look to be doing extremely well. So somebody explain that to me. I have no clue why that is. I got a call on the line right now. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear them talking. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
What's up, Coach?
What's going on? Yeah, Chi-Town. What's up, man? It was good seeing you, man. Finally getting a chance to put a face to a name. So hey, it is what it is.
Hey, thank you for having me on the stream. First time I've been on a YouTube video.
Oh, hey, you famous now, baby? You famous now, baby?
Nah, not close yet, but I'm on my way.
I love it. I had no idea. You know what's funny about when you see people? I'm kind of just talking a little bit because I'm waiting for a thumbs up to let me know that they can hear you on the chat.
Okay.
So, but because we had some issues with the phone line.
Yeah, you got that cricket cellular. Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, boy, that Cricket Wireless, boy, if it's free, give Coach 3. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, he got a thumbs up. Who that dude? All right, all good. Appreciate it. All right. So Chi-Town King, I posed a question here, and I was talking about kind of first-time head coaches. Not necessarily, first-year head coaches. That can include first-time or just first year. I.e. Brian Kelly is a first-year head coach, but not a first-time. And then you have Mike Elko at Duke, who is a first-time head coach. Dan Lanning, who is a first-time head coach. And they seem to be rolling okay. Different circumstances, of course. I hear you. But where does their success come from? And I'm just posing questions here. Why do you think some people succeed and some people don't?
Okay, well, to the Brian Kelly one, before he was at Notre Dame, he was at Cincinnati, so he's had different talent levels. Like you go from Cincinnati to Notre Dame and then down to LSU. He's had time to understand his own philosophy. Like he's already learned himself. Like obviously as a coach, you learn as much as you can, but at the same time, he already knows what type of coach he is. And he understands, like he has enough experience to where he could see a problem and just be like, okay, let me get this person in and see if that works. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, is it the player, is it the coach? And he is able to differentiate between that issue. And you know what? He has the what's the word, experience to be able to work with the kid personally and be like, hey, I've had a number of kids just like you, and this is what the problem was for them. So let's see if that works for you. The Mike Elko at Duke situation, it's amazing what happens when you don't have no pressure on a program, because I don't think anybody really cared if Duke was good or not.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Elko just sort of walked in and was just like, hey, listen, guys, nobody's expecting anything of you. So just go out, play your best, and we're going to win. And that's what and they're doing really well. Like when a team is good for the first time in a while, you surprise a lot of people. Because I know for a fact a lot of the teams Duke has played, everybody thought it was just the same old Duke that they'll be able to push over or run over. And you know what? They're like, nah, this is going to change. Now we'll see if this is a long tenured thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could have success one year like Ed Ogeron and win a national championship, get fired a year and a half later. But we'll see how Mike Elko does. I think he's a good coaching fit for a job, but we'll just see how this is long term. Only time will tell. With Dan Lanning, that's a tough one. I don't know who he has on his football staff. I don't know anything like that, but he already went into a culture that was already built in. People could talk all about how of a non-coach Mario Cristobal was or whatever, but he definitely shaped that program mentally. Like I don't think besides that Utah game, I don't think I ever saw Oregon walk into a field and feel intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
Now whether they played their best or not, that was however people were gonna react to it. But they always looked mentally tough. Did they play their best? No. not all the time, but they were definitely mentally tough. And Dan Lanning went from Georgia, where he has a whole bunch of talent, went to Oregon, where the mentality was already built in. He's like, listen, guys, you guys have the right focus. Now we just got to put this together, X's and O's.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on in Oregon, I think. Now Mario, like with Mario in Miami, I don't care what anybody says, but when you're playing for your hometown team and you're not succeeding, as an 18, 19-year-old, that definitely takes a toll on you. And I think what we're seeing is we literally are like breaking Miami down to its foundation. Because, like the old you is gone. Like that, like, the U was bad or whatever. No. Like they literally just tore this thing to its foundation, all the way from administration down to football personnel. Like we literally just tore this thing to its foundation. And a lot of the kids,
But here's what I'm gonna say. I'm sorry to cut you off, Satan, because
go ahead.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But what do you mean tear it down to its foundation? I'm just trying to get an understanding. So when you say that,
Okay.
what do you like? Why was that? Why? Because I have to say this: a lot of the things that I'm hearing about Miami now, I didn't hear 3 months ago. I didn't hear anybody say, you know what? Coach Cristobal has to tear this thing to the studs. I'm just using the example. Tear this thing to the studs and rebuild it. They said talk about building a program, but not rebuilding. There's a big difference between repairs and renovation. You understand? From my understanding, people, he's going to build a program. Fine. But nobody talked about players. Nobody talked about any of these things that's coming up today. Nobody even brought up, Coach Cristobal that I can recall, including myself. Coach Cristobal is going to we're going to struggle a little bit because he has Manny's players. Nobody ever brought this up. But now that it's happening, these are the excuses I feel, my personal opinion, because it doesn't fit the narrative. It does not fit the narrative because Mario was the savior. And I still agree with this. Let me fix this, though. Let me just say this first. I agree that he can save the program. But here's where the problem lies. People wanted Mario Cristobal to save the program, but they also want instant success. And this right here is where the narrative gets split. I feel like you can't have a guy like, I want you to come in my house, tear everything down to the studs, but I need it done in a day. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the problem is, because now all I'm hearing is these are Manny's guys. These guys are soft. These guys are this. Nobody called these dudes soft when Mario Cristobal got hired. Nobody said. Some people may have questioned ability, and that's fine. But we're talking about some of the same guys that everybody swore was going to be this, going to be that, going to be this, and then now they're soft. They can't play. They need to get in the transfer portal. I think that it's hard to be a player for a fan base, and all fan bases do it. Don't get me wrong. It's all of them do it, but some do it a little bit more than others.
Yeah. Well, to that, I heard the same type of stuff last year.
What you mean?
Like, people are like, oh, this person's soft or this person isn't talented enough. I've heard that for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When D. Wiggins and Mark Pope were dropping passes, everybody's like, they need to get out the train. They need to leave. And so on and so forth. We pick and choose what players to say, you are not going to fit this mold. You need to leave. Is it a good thing? No, absolutely not. But this fan base has been doing that for years. The only difference is now we have a lot more coverage because of who our head coach is and how the hype was going into the year. And the reason why you didn't hear build a program and rebuild a program was because everybody, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people knew what was wrong with the program last year. People are like, oh, the coach is bad. oh, we need better talent. But nobody was looking at the internal factors. We didn't know how much of a disaster the administration and the football program was until we see like, oh wow, they're finally putting. Hey, do we really need all this renovation? Like, wow, like, do we really need all this and that? Like, to be honest, the hints were on the wall for a long time. When the Super Bowl was played here, I think it was Kansas City and San Francisco. I think San Francisco played on Green Tree. They practiced on Green Tree, and they said, "Hey, that field is trash. Like, we'll put in new turf for you. Like, we will pay for the new turf, and then we'll practice on it. You all could do whatever afterwards." Then after they put in new turf or new grass or whatever, we tore it back up and we put in the old one. Like, the hints were always there, but nobody really paid attention because they just looked at what they saw on Saturdays.
And to that point, great point. Great point. But at the end of the day, the turf itself is not why we're losing ball games.
Absolutely not. No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. But no, you make a great
not
point.
at all.
I mean, you make a very great point about things that needed to be fixed and things that needed to be done. I'm just posing. What I want to do now in this time of turmoil is pose questions in the words of Arsenio Hall. And I know this before your time, Shot Time. Things that make you say, because sometimes emotion gets in the way and we don't think rationally. I just want to ask people, why now is it this when it wasn't that? Why does this dude suck 3 months later and before the first kickoff, he gonna be the best dude ever? Because I'm gonna tell you what I used to catch a lot of flack about. I used to catch flack about something very simple. I said, and you remember this, I said, we don't have difference makers on this team right now. We have potential difference makers, but they're young, they babies. I said, but the word potential means they have not done it yet.
Yeah.
But now,
definitely.
Hold on, but these same people whoop my behind on here. Yes, we do, coach. This kid, here's a prime example. Keyshawn Smith's a difference maker. I said, okay, sure. In 3 months, y'all want him gone because he fumbled the ball one time? He's trash? He need to go back to California? Come on, y'all.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, people are gonna pick what they go after. Like, the only differences between now and back when Miami was starting to fall apart, when the allegation and everything was going on, is now everybody has social media accounts and they could say what they're saying. They could say what's on their mind, whether it be right or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly tell you this: the average Kane fan by themselves knows that that's not the issue. By themselves, they know it's not the issue.
That's fair.
But if you put 20 Canes fans in a room, I promise you by the end of that night, after those 20 Canes fans leave that room, they will say everything is wrong with the program to a T.
And some cane juice.
Like, they will, and some cane juice, definitely. People by themselves are really smart. You could sit down these Canes fans one by one and literally, and I don't know who's going to call in. I don't know what's going to go on the rest of the night. But if they are by themselves, honestly, they would be like, hey, listen, I thought we were further along. We don't know what's going internally, so let's just wait and see. You put enough of them and their emotions run high, the players suck, the coaches suck, administration needs a whole do-over because people together are stupid as hell because nobody could think for themselves. They will just automatically gravitate to the most common argument, and that's the argument you'll hear. And you'll think that it's a majority decision because that's everybody talking because of the majority, issues.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sit everybody down one by one, I promise you, they're not. We are crazy. Canes fans are psychotic. Only us could talk shit to other programs while we're getting our teeth busted. It happens.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I honestly don't care what other people think about the program. I am just looking at what I see. You're a little different because you have a platform where you get to conversate with people. You hear difference of opinion, and you have a face that people could attack if they do not agree with your point. But I'm, just honestly, I just want to see how this whole thing turns out. I can't look at floor plan for a house and then be like, oh, this house is going to be beautiful until it gets built up.
Gotcha. That's
I'm
good.
just waiting to see what's going on.
That's good, right? Because sometimes you don't see that vision in it, right? You just see the floor plan because it's flat, right? It's 2D. It's on paper. You can't visualize the house and what it looks like as a true thing. That's why they build models. But no, I totally agree with you. But I do want to talk about a point. We could just ride out until other people decide to call in. Nobody calling right now. You guys more than welcome in. The phone number scrolling at the bottom. But somebody
I ain't
asked,
got no plans. It's a Tuesday night. I'm cool.
But somebody asked a question. Somebody asked a question about what has Duke done that's so special. Here's what I look at. Let's look at their record. Well, somebody just called in, but they can hold on 1 second. So Duke beats Temple 30-0, very first game coming out the box. They beat Northwestern, who is an established program. I can say they have pretty much the same academic requirements here or there, right? Very high academic programs, right?
Yeah.
That coach has been there 15 years, something to that effect at Northwestern. And Duke beats them 31-23. Impressive win coming out the gate, even though Northwestern is not very good. But we don't know that in week 2, even though they lost to Nebraska in Dublin, Ohio, in Dublin, Ireland. Of course, they put light work on North Carolina A&T. Then they come out and they lose by 8 points to Kansas, a good Kansas team this year. But they lose by 8. They're competitive, but they lose by 8. They come and put work in on Virginia, 38-17. They lose to Georgia Tech by 3 points. They lose to North Carolina by 3 points. And then they come into Miami, 45-21. So what have they done impressive? They've been competitive. I haven't seen a blowout in anything. The 2 losses that they have is 8 points. 3 points.
3 points.
Yeah, 3 points, 3 points, 8 points. So you tell me that's a total of 14 points. So the 3 games they lost within a total of 14 points. To me, first time head coach at Duke, who's not riddled with talent. They're not riddled with talent. Now, have they played the hardest of the hardest schedule? No. But they've only lost to 14 points. So to me, it may not be impressive, but it shows me that, okay, they're putting it together. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but to that point, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you think if like, okay, be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think that Duke is held to the same standards as a Miami Hurricanes football team?
Regardless of the standards, the record tells it. And that's my point.
Or no, I understand the record tells it. But can you honestly tell me that those Duke players, when they signed to play football at Duke, they walked in held to the same standard as a Miami Hurricanes player when they walk in?
They may not be. You're 100% right. But what I would give credit to the coach is he holds them to a standard and says, listen.
Absolutely.
And so that's what's impressive, that you're the bad news bears for I guess lack of a better term. And you're the all right news bears because you're competitive. Like I said, you're a Kansas team, 8 points. I don't know how the scoring went out, but what I mean is a first year deal. You come out and you lost games to a total of 14 total points. So no, they may not be held to the same standard. But let me ask you another question. I'm gonna kind of flip that on your head. So the Hurricane standard, is that a national standard or is that a Hurricane fan standard?
Honestly, that is being held to a national standard is a Canes fan standard and the national media standard. The media loves saying that we are a few players away or a season away from being back. And Canes fans, to all of our flaws, swear that this next recruiting class will get us out of mediocrity. That is the standard that we have made on every player that has been recruited since 2017.
And I can agree with that. And from a media standpoint, I know why they do it, because of who we were. But I'm talking about
Absolutely.
to the fans across the nation. Just people who watch college football across the nation. Is the Miami standard still the same? I'm just posing questions here. Is this standard still the same in regards to expectation, right? So here's a prime example. People that are not Ohio State fans, people that are not Clemson fans, people that are not and I'm not going to talk about the elite. Let's take it down a notch. Florida, right? Let me see here. Oregon. Let me see. Let me think of another team. Texas. These are not elite programs, but I think their standard to the nation would be higher than Miami's right now. And I know I sound like a hater, but I'm not. I'm just posing questions.
Well, here's the thing. To those three schools that you said, Florida, yes, they're held to high standards, but nobody's holding them to a high standard because of who's in their conference and who they have to see every year.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
I said Florida is held to high standards. So I'm gonna go through the three teams you said. Mm-hmm. Florida is held to high standards. But if they lose, nobody is going to hold that against them because of who they play every year. If they lose to Alabama, Georgia, and LSU every other year, everybody's going to be like, "Hey, look, listen, you played close, good job."
That's fair.
But nobody is expecting them to beat those teams because of who those teams have been over the past decade.
That's fair.
Oregon, yes, they're held to a standard, but at the same time, the Pac-12 hasn't been what it's been since USC and Penn State played in that Rose Bowl with Saquon Barkley and what Chip Kelly had Oregon doing. The Pac-12 hasn't been that same conference that is held to such a high esteem level since then. So everybody's been like, all right, well, you could win the Pac-12, but what happens when you play against, other teams? Like when Oregon played against Auburn and they lost, people are like, oh, well, Oregon's good enough to win the Pac-12, but they're not good enough to win anything else.
And I agree.
That's the standard that they were set at.
But Shai, I agree with that. But their standard is at least being the best of the Pac-12. Would you agree or disagree?
Absolutely. Since before Lincoln Riley went to USC, absolutely they've been held to the standard.
Exactly. So their standard right now is the best of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. When people think from a nationwide perspective, not just fans, but a nationwide perspective, you're not an Oregon fan, are you?
No, hell no. I love playing with their uniforms on NCAA, but
but don't you expect them to win the Pac-12 every year?
I expect them to win the Pac-12, but you're also talking. You have to assume that every person is a casual college football fan. A casual will just look at Oregon and be like, "Oh, they suck," but a football connoisseur like yourself, Wholesome One, or any of these people that that work in the YouTube community will be like, okay, yeah, they have enough talent to win the Pac-12, but we'll see what happens when they go up against, like UCLA now that it's on the up and up. The casual fan.
Well, they just put UCLA to sleep.
Yeah, they did.
That's my point. But what I'm saying is when you think of a team like Oregon and the name Oregon comes to you, I have to be very honest. In the past 10 years, I think they're the best team in the West. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Best team in the West.
They are.
Right?
They
so
are.
That's kind of their standard, their expectation, right? Now when you hear USC, because Lincoln Riley just got there, you like, Oregon, you're going to have some trouble, but they still hold a crown as of right now, just on the surface. Like their expectation is to at least win the Pac-12 every year. That's how I look at those teams, right? Let's go to Texas right quick, and I'm going to take some, because Brother Jay Blaze been calling in. So let's go to Texas right quick. Go ahead. Let's talk about that.
All right, so Texas, I honestly think that that's where we are. Not to Miami fans or to the nation media, but honestly, Texas is where we are, or we are where Texas was, because everybody saw that Texas had the talent. The only freebie that they had was that they played Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley before he went to USC, so nobody would fault them. But each person saw Texas and said they have the talent. We can't figure out what's wrong. because you even said this at the beginning of the year. You didn't know what was wrong with Texas. They're like, they have the talent, they have the coaches. There's something internally with that program that we can't figure out what's wrong.
I know it's administration.
Yeah, they know. Okay, so we agree it's administration. Could you tell me what Miami's problem was?
Administration.
Okay, it's administration. I honestly think it was everything. We had to clear out the people in the Miami program that were not here to benefit us. The people who loved throwing up the U but didn't want to put in the work to bring the U back. Those are the people we had to get rid of.
Okay.
Now, those are people that us as fans will never hear about. We will never know about to the day we leave this earth.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to trust that clearing out of the behind the scenes Miami boosters or whatever it is happening. With, same with, like I said, like you said with Texas, the administration was the problem. They had the talent, they had the coaches. Nobody denied that, but we couldn't figure out what was wrong with the program. And everybody was hoping. They were like, hey, Texas is one recruiting class away. They brought in talent. They might be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is they would compete for their conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, people wanted Miami to compete, but nobody saw that how far away we were because we would be competitive with less because we were okay with being mediocre. We could just put up a fight. We'd be happy with it.
I got you.
But yeah, now we're in a space where we're not okay with putting up a fight. We want to win. But at the same time, though, us as fans, and the players don't want to lose. Like they're, people are saying it all the time that the players are frustrated and they can't figure it out. But we need to see how that frustration plays out because some players will get frustrated and be like, you know what, I've been trying my hardest, it's not working, I'm done because it's not working. And then some players are going to get frustrated because they're right there. They're like, we're right here. We just need to take that extra step, and we're trying to figure it out.
I got you.
Because I told you at the beginning of the year that this team is like, I figured it was more like the '98 Kings when we played UCLA and nobody expected us to win. But it was the program changer because the players were frustrated at being mediocre and they were able to find that next step at the right moment. Okay. That's where I think we are. We're right there. But we need to know what that next step is to where we could cross that finish line, and we just can't figure it out yet. We're going to. But we need to see how our players respond to this frustration.
I got it. With shot time, I'm going to let this other guy call in 786, but appreciate it, man. As always, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the love, brother. Great points.
Of course, Coach.
All right.
Of course, Coach. All right. Yes. You have a good night. I'm going to continue watching.
Yeah, be safe, man. All right, we got a new call in the building. Before we get started, I got to give Reggie, the dude that I slapped around all over the fantasy right quick. Get up out of here, man. Reggie with the $5 says, Coach Hayes gives his team deer antler velvet before games. Makes his team pee in the cup. Reggie, I know what deer antler velvet is, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to stop it. But I appreciate the $5, and I thank you for that butt whipping that you allowed me to give you in the fantasy about broke his back. Call or talk to us. You got 786 area code, man. What's your thoughts on I'm talking about first-time head coaches, right? I know it may be a lot of Miami guys in here and so forth, but I do want to just kind of talk about first-year head coaches if we keep it there. I don't mind talking some Miami, but I do want to just talk about that. So talk to me, baby. What's up?
What's going on, Coach? It's Cool from the crib.
Cool from the crib. Talk to me, Cool.
Chilling. I think, man, it's tough, but I think what we're seeing, especially in this first year, is weird. But that, have you done enough for your players to buy in? I went and I looked at the records of former coaches, especially for the youth. So, I looked at Schnellenberger's. Schnellenberger's was, I think it was either him or Bush that didn't do good the first year. I think went 5-6, something like that. And then, they were able to get more consistency. I don't know if it's an exact science per se, because if you really think about it, I think what we was able to tell from this year that I don't think that everyone fully bought in as we thought. And you even hear it from the media guys that they're saying that the feel around Green Tree is not like it's not like a country club no more. It's more, it's more up tempo. There's more expected things of that nature. I don't know if it's an exact science though. I mean, just some people will find that cohesion, and then some it just will take time. I don't know if it's
So
an exact science for everyone. But
so
go ahead.
so to your point, right? And
Mhm.
if you guys notice, I don't talk about yesteryear when it comes to the Canes. I don't, and it's okay, and I totally get it. But you don't hear me make a lot of references to. I used to. Let me say that. Let me go back because y'all be like, "Yes, you did, Coach. You just said." But within the past 3 weeks, I have not brought. I don't bring them up. I don't even bring up back in my day because back in my day doesn't matter anymore. 2001. I hate to say it when pertaining to these conversations, doesn't matter anymore, bro. These 2001 Canes got gray beards, bro. Like those days don't matter anymore. Look at Ed Reed. His whole head almost gray. So what I'm trying to say to y'all is back in my day, it's cool to talk. But what I want to say is I want to make more comparisons to real live stuff. For example, Mike Elko, Brian Kelly, guys that why is theirs working? In today's game with today's kids. I'm not talking about the Ed Reeds and the Ray Lewises. I'm talking about this is the same generation of kids that are at Miami, that are at all these different places, and we have still Florida kids on these staff. We just played. I forgot Jamar Moore, I believe his name was for Duke from Ocala. You know, and I don't think it just pertains to South Florida kids. We got kids from kind of everywhere on our team now. It's no more just regional teams anymore. So my question to you is, why is it some coaches are successful and some coaches are not? I'm gonna give you a hint to what you said. It's not an exact science, and that I understand. But my question is, why do you see some teams flourish and some teams don't? Comparing today's teams, not teams back 20 years ago, 15, even 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'm talking about people that's on this team now, on the teams now.
Brother, I gotta be honest with you, man. I mean, it's just I don't know. I think I don't. Well, one, I definitely don't see Mario as a player's coach.
Okay.
I don't, and that could make the difference. Um, and notice, like you're saying, there's more technology going around. There's more hip, and I know it's different. I just can't. I can't place my finger on it. I'll be honest with you. When you're asking me a direct question,
Mm-hmm.
I can't place my finger on why that is. Why some coaches come in more successful than others. I would not be able to answer that with a straight answer. Oh no, I just don't think it's an exact science. But you can let me know, Coach, if you got a.
No, I don't have. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Football has.
Because I don't want to cut you off. Really, I just want to say that I was not one of the ones killing you when you said we don't have difference makers. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and I want to be clear about this. We had none showing at the time. I believe.
Right.
I believe we have some on our roster, but I use the word potential, meaning they have not done it yet. I firmly believe a cat like Brashard Smith can be a difference maker.
Oh yeah, he's from my hood, so
I believe that with my whole heart. He just has not done it yet. But there are guys, when you go look at teams, right? When you go look at a Troy Franklin out of Oregon, true freshman, right? Difference maker already. as a true freshman, 18-year-old kid. I believe he's a true freshman. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know the fact checkers out there. Y'all go ahead and check the facts on it. Hell, even in Evan Stewart, as bad as Texas A&M is, he has become the go-to guy. You think about this. To win the game, Evan Stewart? Yeah, Evan Stewart. Xavier Worthy for Texas. Bro, do you know that Texas put the game on the line against Alabama in the hands of a true freshman, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Think about what I just said there.
Yeah.
Texas put the game on the line to throw the ball to their true freshman. That's
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in a couple of Texas spaces. I haven't been in them all, but I didn't see nobody call that young man trash. They may have.
Mm-hmm.
They may have, but I'm talking about I was in a Texas space. Like,
well, I would say this. No, go ahead, Coach.
no, I was just simply saying that there you go. Harold Perkins, LSU, true freshman. Like those cats, when they pop off, and you know it right away. Like you just see it, right? Like you just see it. They dominate. They don't even try to dominate, and they dominate. Those are game difference makers and game changers. All right. Somebody, Donald Buffett, Coach Hayes, stop it, please. You will eat those words. You downplay everything positive people say or compare to other coaches. We will be great again, Coach. Don't know what is going on that at the U. No, I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm talking about other teams, Donald. And I know you. I think you were the one who called in on Wholesome Show. And like I said, I got the phone line open, Donald. I'd love to talk to you about it. Let's have a conversation because that's what I want to do, cool. I want to talk to people. Everybody's picking a side, right? And I'm not picking a side. I'm posing questions right now on the Coach Me Coach podcast. Just simple questions. Well, why? It's not a Miami thing. I'm just asking because you got first-time head coaches that's bumming it right now.
No,
why are they not? Why are they not? Why are they
right.
not good? I'm just posing the questions. So,
but I do got to say this. No, go ahead, bro, Coach.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, remember when you asked the question about Florida, Texas. Now, I do got to pose this one thing.
Okay.
Texas they are in a conference where, like, come on. No, everybody only expects, like you said, Texas and Oklahoma to win it every year. Even though I learned in recent years, actually, Texas Tech has a better record than both of them, unbeknownst to a lot of people. But, I mean, but I think even in recent years, nobody even holds Texas to that standard that they once had. Let's be honest, because they kind of have tanked as well, just like kind of Florida has as well. But then I would say and I hate to even say it, but in Florida's case, I mean, they are going up against a Bama, LSU, and who else?
But again, what's the expectation? But my question is, what is the expectation, though, cool? Right? I'm not asking. See, remember, your expectation don't mean you got to win it all. Your expectation may simply say, we can't beat Bama, we can't beat Georgia, we can go 10-2 every year. Right? That's our expectation. Or 9-3, 10-2, so forth and so on. What is your expectation? And what I'm trying, and again, when I'm not asking the fans' version of their school's expectation, I'm talking about when people see the Texas logo.
You talking about national?
Yeah, I'm talking about the casual fan, the same way Miami fans look at Ohio State or Miami fans. How we look at other programs, right? We look at other programs because it's not our baby, so we look at them for what they are. Right? Because if Oregon was to go 7-6, right? Like, oh, they terrible. We don't even watch one game. We just look at the record because the expectation is they the best team in the West.
But I'm gonna say this though, even if they do, their fans, I would say even their fans are different because they be happy that they win it. I mean, and then like I say that they be like you said, they haven't won a national championship though, but they are expected to win the West per se. And I was saying that, like you said, nationally, nobody expects Miami to win the ACC. If you want me to be honest, nationally, nobody
speaking,
expects it because we haven't shown it.
I can agree with that. That's what I'm saying. If you ask just maybe above average college football fan, do you expect Miami to win the ACC? I would probably potentially say 90% of them say no. Right?
Yeah.
We do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I was just making comparisons across, right? Would you, let's make expectations, right? If you went up there and polled people and said, this team should beat this team, right?
Right.
Right? You know the game everybody played before the season, the win-loss game. Everybody played the win-loss game before the season. Yeah. If I gave you a roster of another conference, you're going to look at it and say, okay, Oregon. All right. Arizona, win. Arizona State, win. UCLA, you're going to lean towards win. Might be tough, but win. USC, that's a 50-50 game. Then you start thinking like, maybe because, you may go either way on that. That's all I'm saying when it comes to that. So those are the things I'm just talking about when people look at Miami, not the media, because the media wants us to win because of what we've done.
Yeah.
Because of what we've done. We're in the hotbed city. We got the fiery guy. And guess what we're still getting? We're still getting good players.
Yeah.
We're still getting nationally ranked players on our team. We are. Bro, the number 1 safety, we get him. The number 3 D tackle in the country, we're getting him. Right? Like we're still getting notable guys on our team. Right? And that's all I'm just saying. But I do want Donald to call in, man, because I think we spoke before, Donald, and you brought up some things. I think I was on Wholesome Show. But Donald, if you would mind, I would love to call in. Let me see. I bet both of LSU starting tackles were ranked higher than Zion Nelson coming out of high schools. Probably so.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if they were or not. I can't. I'll be lying to tell you.
I gotta say this. I want to ask you this, Coach. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Sure. No, you good.
Do you really think they using James Williams to the best of his abilities? Because I think, man, ever since they posed this, let him come in the box thing, I mean, it was a great idea. But do you really think that they are using him to the best of his abilities, or do you really think that there is a lack of effort type thing, or you think it's just fundamentals?
No, I think he's a young. Here's what I think is happening. Is my opinion. I've always said early in the beginning. All right. Y'all know I already said this was because I like the deep quarterback guy. I said go get him off the edge, baby, because of his athleticism when he was coming in. But that's fine if he doesn't want to play. But if you notice what's happening, you can label him as a safety, but look at where he's playing. He's playing in the box. Let's not get caught up with titles. Look at where he's playing. There are some times he's playing deep, true enough, but a lot of times he's playing in the box or he's the reduction guy, so forth and so on, right? I think that he's a kid who's trying to make a play, and sometimes fundamentals get away from him, and he just does what is already instilled in him, if that makes sense, right? Because if you've been doing something, I don't know how long James been playing. I think Street always got him from a little kid playing, but let's just say he's been playing this game at least 10 years. If he's 22 years, 20, if he's 20 years old, he's probably been playing since he was 10, right? And I don't know his whole history so far as youth league, but I remember on his WRE that I did, he did a lot of shoulder shrugging tackles, right? Coming in, thumping cats up, running dudes over, maybe not necessarily wrapping them up. And what that is bearing its head. Now, can I say this? That is something that needed to be fixed immediately.
Well,
and I can't say
right.
and I can't say that Manny did or did not try to fix it, meaning his staff.
Right.
And I can't say that Coach Adai did or did not try to fix it now. They may have been, right? But you have to also remember this. The days of benching a guy because he's not wrapping up, this is a business, guys. This ain't Pop Warner. This is a business. If he's the best you have, you got to keep working at that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, the days of my coach used to sit. That's why I don't like to talk in yesteryear. I like to talk right now. What's happening now? We don't have a guy back there to necessarily push him. Who's the guy behind him to push him? Because
some would say Avante.
Okay, but then Avante blows coverage. So it's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Do I get the guy that shoulder shrugs, or do I get the guy that may blow coverages? I'm just talking. That's not my opinion. I'm just talking about when people make comparisons.
No, right. And
or do I
I
get Cam to come over who peeks in the backfield? Like, again, these are more holes.
Yeah, I didn't like how you peek in the backfield, man.
Yeah, and so there we go. Those are more holes you're trying to fill, and you got 2 holes and 1 plug. You know what I mean? So you pick your poison. You take the gunshot, or you take the knife to the throat. It's up to you. You know.
So you think that's also what makes the difference between how I don't want to call a particular player out, but we did see an instance where Corey Couch did have a passing interference, or it was some type of play he got a flag on, and I think it was something about being non-disciplined, but they still send him back in, and it's like so, and that's what I'm saying. You didn't think it's the same thing.
Say that again. That was your question.
So I'm saying, do you think it's the same deal when, Corey Couch may make a undisciplined play and they still throw him back in instead of like trying to replace him with like Daryl Porter or somebody?
Yeah, I think depth is an issue. I really do, across the board.
Okay.
We talked about
it. Fair.
But cool. Let me grab this other call. They've called in several times. But I thank you, man, as always, man, for supporting us, brother.
All right, no problem, Coach. You're doing a wonderful job.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. All right, I got another call on the line. Caller, give me 1 second. I want to get some donos. Brother Jay Blaze, man, with the $25. Thank you so much, man. He says, Brother Jay Blaze, much love, Coach. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. Also, we got Stevie C, man, with the $5 on Cash App, and Dub Smith with the $20 on Cash App. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You guys are more than welcome. I didn't even put it up here, so I mean, you guys been watching before, but I didn't put it up here. But Cash App is just $ Coach Hayes Football. You'll see this logo right here. If you don't see that logo, don't do it. They say somebody else got a logo very similar. So, Brother Jay Blaze, thank you, man. I appreciate you as always, brother. Thank you. Let me get this going right quick, and I'm gonna get the caller here on the line.
Okay.
Let me see here. I just want to make sure I got everything. All right, perfect. Caller, talk to us. 580 area code.
Yes, sir. What's up, Coach Hayes?
What's going on, man? Who am I talking to?
Bishop.
Bishop, how you doing, brother?
Good. Hey, just wanted to give you some foundation. Okay. A lot of these coaches now, they have to have you have to appeal to not just football, but you got to appeal to the whole sector of building up a man. When they come in as young men, but by the time they end, they have to be able to understand how to take corrective criticism and grow.
Sure.
And a lot of times the ones that have a strong foundation and have a total team foundation can come in and on the ground floor and be able to have a stronger output in this first year, where others have to grow in years.
Okay.
And what I'm seeing now, because like you said, we're not going to yesteryear, but right now we're dealing with young men that have been playing Xbox, where back in the day, a lot of us would play in the yard.
Let's not do that. Hold on, let's not do that.
So
hold on. Bishop.
I know.
But I want to cut you because I want to make this an exercise. I want to make it.
Go ahead.
I want to make this exercise where we can find out what the problem is without comparing it to how we grew up. We used to ride bikes. Listen, we used to ride bikes.
Okay, but give me a chance because I was going somewhere. Because what I was trying to say is that maybe the coaching style needs to evolve to be able to reach these young men, so that we understand what is necessary in these days to elevate and find that gold nugget in each individual to bring it out, and how to reach, teach, and grow that student athlete.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, we can't go off of yesterday. You were absolutely correct. But understand what we need as coaches coming in, we need a full foundation, meaning that we need people that come in that knows NIL. We need to surround our people around us that they have expertise in their certain areas. So when we hit the ground, we build. When we build strong, and you can see the fruits of the labor. You might not have the instant success, i.e., Oklahoma this year is 4-3, but we can see in recruiting what Venables is doing right now, and other coaches are having even better success because they have the whole foundation.
Okay, so you bring up Venables, right? Great call,
right?
Because I did want to talk about Oklahoma. So Brett Venable goes in, right? He's supposed to be a defensive guru guy. Well, he is. I'm not supposed to. That's wrong for me to say.
Right.
He's a defensive guru guy in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley leaves. And Lincoln Riley, again, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, he takes primarily offensive guys. I don't know if he took a lot of defensive guys, if any. I may be wrong. I don't know. I don't follow him that close.
Right.
But right now, he's 1-3 in the conference, 4-3 overall. Okay?
Correct.
He has got his teeth kicked in against Texas. Right?
Correct.
I'm trying to look at this. Of course, he beats UTEP, beats Kent State, beats Nebraska, loses to Kansas State, loses to TCU.
TCU and Texas.
And loses to
Texas. And then we just won Kansas.
Right, loses to Texas and then beats Kansas. Right? So, looking at Venables come in.
Correct.
You know what sticks out like an oxymoron to me?
Go ahead.
Defensive play. And I've always the one talked about specialist, right? Like meaning being a specialist coach, meaning you come in on one side of the ball. Him being a defensive guy, and you're an Oklahoma fan, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you know what coaches he brought with him from Clemson?
You have
is it like 2 or 3 of them? How many did he bring?
2 or 3 of them. They were on the defensive line. I can't think of them offhand, but yeah. But 2 or 3 of them came from there. But understand, are they recruits he currently has and the players he currently have from his type of system, or is he teaching them and there's a learning curve that they have to go through?
It may very well be. That's not my question. I'm not asking why he's not. I'm just asking what makes, I'm just posing the question, what makes some first-year coaches good and some first-year coaches not so good? That's all I'm really asking. I'm not trying to point blame. I'm just trying to say,
no. I got what you're saying, and that's what I said in the beginning, is because they have, understand the product that they're dealing with is not there, or they're not all up to snuff. Some people go into a organizational that already has some foundational pieces that needs to just be polished, versus somebody has to build the foundation themselves when they come in, so that going forward they'll be able to move forward.
I got you. And again, that's all I'm asking, right? So when I look at it, this is not a blame. I'm posing the question because I want some of the fan base. One thing I think, and I may be wrong about this as well, I think Miami fans don't look outside of Miami football, right? Like they only look at this, and therefore their opinions get jaded. That's why I'm posing these questions. But when I look at cats like you, and I'm not saying this is all Miami fans, so y'all stop it with the Twitter fingers.
Mm-hmm.
You're an Oklahoma fan, and you're in
Correct.
here. Reggie is a Georgia fan. He's in here.
Correct.
Who that is a what? LSU fan, and he's in here.
Correct.
Like, you guys look at football from different angles. And so I say that to the Miami fan base. Sometimes we stay in our backyard so much, that's all we see and know. And we never have any exposure to anything else to say, I wonder why Miami may not be doing well. Let me look at program X, Y, and Z and just that's why I'm posing these questions. That's all. Because I want the fan base to look at it and say, and I thought you brought a very valid point. And so did Edward. Edward says, Coach, Edward, I think this is a very valid point. OU didn't really recruit top-notch defense under Riley.
Correct. That is correct.
That makes sense because I'm a defensive guy. We know Lincoln Riley was an offensive dude who left. I'm going to make sure the offense is good. They're going to be high-powered. We'll win the games 49-46. Right? Cool.
Right.
So the defensive guy has to say, okay, well, these may not be the guys who necessarily fit my system, and it may not have been the real blue chippers. We got to get there. And as a fan, I can accept that. I can accept that as a fan if I'm an Oklahoma fan.
But it's still tough.
It is
you
tough.
Gotta accept it.
But it's not a grab bag. And I think that's what's happening to Miami. 1 week, just think about how many people we blame. Every week we blame somebody different. First week, Josh Gaddis. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, Josh Gaddis. Second week, the defense. Kevin Steele sucks when we lose to MTSU. Next week, the player. This week, that. Now, the players are trash. Get rid of everybody. And I think it's because we're not looking at a deep dive into what's happening at the entire program. Because we're only looking here. When you look at Oklahoma and say, dang, what happened? But then I can go look at I can go look at Oregon or USC or here or there, whatever. And now I can look beyond that, take that information and apply it to here and say, okay, now I have a better understanding of why this is. I hope this makes sense.
I hope so too, because the true foundation is accountability and physicality and mentality. Period, point blank. And whatever you have to work with is what you work with. And understand a lot of these coaches are in a position that the covenant isn't there, and others have to build a foundation. Either which way, if it takes 1 year or it takes 3 years, the main thing is you want to see growth. You want to see from the start of this season to the end of the season, can we get better? Can we come together as one and pull on the same rope, on the same destiny rope to get to our final end? Period, point blank. And that's what all fans want. But understand, we can't help them on the field, so it becomes like soul wounds. You're watching it, but you can't adversely affect it or become a part of it. So we gotta we see it in rearview mirror type, because we get to see from the sideline per se, but we're not actually in the game or understanding what actually came about to derive at that point, or was they covered bear in your guys' situation, and maybe your coach is having to do the foundational. If that's the case, then give him the opportunity, because he's definitely building. He's coming in with the right mindset to build, and he has key components in place. But understand, you got to be honest assessment, and ask yourself: is the covered bear, and does he need his players to function? Don't mean he's not going to give up, but just like I watched his press conference, he said that the right things to say, because hey, nobody's going to give us a pass just because we might be struggling. We still got to do the work. That's the same thing that Venables was saying. We're not going to, anybody want to give up? Hey, I'll help you on your way out, but we're going to finish. You know, nobody said guaranteed. What it is we've been we had success, and then when we come up against a little adversity, then we go to the sky is falling. But actuality, no, it's growing pains for the next level.
No, and again, right, but I agree, and that's why I want to get to the point where we stop making 20-year-old comparisons and make comparisons.
I agree.
We got to make lateral comparisons, right? And I know you were talking about, and I know you were talking about this, but you know, I want people to understand these are the same kids across the board. The kids are not different.
Correct.
Like,
correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
The kids are not
Correct.
different. The kids are not different, meaning they're all the same generation, dog. They're not living back to the future where you got them literally out of some portal somewhere and zapped them in here. They're all kids of the
Correct.
same generation. They all listen to the same music. They all got the same, stuff.
Yeah.
They all enamored with iPhones and technology and posting.
Sure.
There's nothing different. We just have to be smart and strategic in how we attack it. But like I said, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, bro, for calling in. Hopefully Donald
not a problem.
called in. And thank you, man. It was a great perspective, and you opened my eyes to something. I wasn't thinking about it, and Edward as well, talking about the kind of players why the defensive guys may not have been picked as highly ranked. Didn't even think about that. And that's why I love to do the Coach Me Coach podcast, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and WRED.
Yeah, man. WREs, I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate the time.
They coming back, man. It's just a lot of them have slowed down. I know Kamani McLean is doing his on, I think, Thursday. But a lot of them are slowing down, and it takes so much to edit. So for me, it's like,
I know.
You know what it's like?
Yeah, we talked about that. Remember?
Yeah. I got to get where you get into a system and a rhythm. I can't just do one. The algorithm don't work. You got to hit them hard, man. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Got you always.
All right, now. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Bye.
Great call, man. Opened my eyes, taught me something, man. And I never looked at it that way. So appreciate him and Edward as well. But Donald, man, call in, man, because I do want to talk about what you seem to be passionate about. Not seem to be, you are. I can tell by the way you're talking that you're passionate regarding the things that you're saying, and I can tell that you really understand that. And I am passionate with you. I believe me and you are really saying the same thing. We're on two different trains, but the same track. I firmly believe we're in the same boat here. We may be going about it two different ways. Also, you got to remember, this is a show, right? There's some entertainment value in this deal too. And you have to pose questions to get people talking. I try to temper people when it came to this. There were a lot of things happening that you could see. But Donald, I'm going to give to my credit. If I came out at the beginning of the season and I said to y'all, you know what? Mario going to go 5-7, maybe 6-6 at the best. But there are a lot of things I talked about. Injuries are going to plague us. Not like I'm a future speaker, but I'm talking about the things that I see happen in programs sometimes. If I would have brought up the fact he's not going to be successful because, right? I never said he wasn't going to be successful because he's not a coordinator. I said his success is based on him picking his coordinators. That's one. If I would have went through that whole list of line of stuff, you know what y'all say? Coach, you a hater. They already called me a hater. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool. But I'm not. What I try to do is save this fan base from what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is more destruction. The fan base is destroying this because you don't want to blame Mario, which you shouldn't. You don't want to blame the players, which you shouldn't. You don't want to blame the strength and conditioning, which you shouldn't. You don't want to blame Josh Gaddis. You shouldn't. You don't want to blame Kevin Steele. You shouldn't. You got to blame them all. You got to blame everybody. These are the things I'm talking about. You have to blame everybody because when it falls this hard, everybody has stuck their hand in the pot in some form or fashion. Everybody, whether it's players dropping balls, whether it's coaches not coaches not helping players through the development process, whether it's coaches not helping the quarterback to understand protections. Like the water girl got a problem right now. Maybe it's too much water in the water bottle. Maybe it's not enough. Hell, I don't know. Maybe like Forrest Gump, the pH balance ain't right. You understand me? So with that being said, who knows what the issue is? But right now, I believe firmly it's everyone. Caller, talk to us, 772.
Oklahoma chat, right?
Huh?
Hello?
Yeah, call a 772 area code calling in, man. Where is that? I don't know who that where that is, but give me your name and where you're calling from.
Nah, I'm from Dade. This is Donald.
Oh, Donald, what's up, man? I just saw 772. Where's that? Where's 772? You don't know?
That's up that Port St. Lucie somewhere, but I'm in Dade County.
Okay. All right, Donald. So we talked on Wholesome Show, and we were talking about you saying in the back. I just kind of giving some backstory so people know kind of where we come from. We were on the show, and you were talking about the kind of the way we talk about it, and you knew some recruits, and they were watching my show after the game one time, and
right.
And we were talking about I think you brought up the fact that the fans were negative and so forth and so on, and it's turning people off. But that recruit had a good relationship and really enjoyed the coaching staff. Am I correct with everything?
Absolutely.
Okay. So today you had a comment on here and you said, let me see here. All right, I'm put on the screen so people. You said, Coach Hayes, stop it, please. You will eat those words. You downplay everything positive people say or compare to other coaches. We will be great again. Coach don't know what is going on at the U. So let's talk to the first part. What words were I gonna eat? You gotta help me remember a little bit. I'm gonna eat what words?
Yeah, we gonna be great.
So I didn't say that we weren't gonna be great.
Yeah, we're gonna be great again.
No, I agree. But hold on, but you tell me eat the words. But what words? What did I say?
The great word. Well, I'm just saying, as far as like everybody's making it look like right now, like Miami a disaster, right? But at the same time, it's a lot of recruits really want to come to Miami, and they see themselves playing. They really buying into Mario, like going like down at the school right now. I know a lot of the kids haven't bought in. Like we gonna have a lot of transfers next year at the school. You know, that's what I've been hearing. But there's a lot of kids wants to come here, but our fan base just be mad.
I agree with you. Hold on, Donald. So that's why I told you earlier. I don't know if you heard me say this. I think we on the two different trains, same track. Because now you say you downplay everything positive people say or compare to other coaches. Give me an example. Like, what do you mean when you say I downplay?
I was talking, okay, for instance, with the like when somebody bring up like Nick Saban, you know, if they was trying to like when people be like Nick Saban first year, or you know, Lane Kiffin first year, I feel like when it's coach's first year, I think everybody go through growing pains because it's building relationships. That's what I think. You know, so
to that
like
point,
Lane, I think in Miami it's a lot more pressure than any other school to me. Because we haven't won in a while, and then the people that it's a lot to do in Miami, so we don't pack stadiums. It's a lot of stuff that goes on down here that, you know, that other little city, little country towns like Alabama and Ole Miss, all them places, man. Them people, it's a lot different. We can't compare none of that to Miami. It's just different here. We know how we are here, you know.
I agree with
you
that.
know how we are here.
I totally agree with you. So I'm gonna tell you what I started to do. When you say I downplay, you know why I do that? Because you know what they're doing, Donald? They're making the Nick Saban expectation right in front of you, right? And that's why I don't like to play yesteryear. That was 15 years ago that happened with Nick Saban.
Right.
That's
true.
25 years ago when they talk about Jimmy Johnson and Butch Davis. Right? Just think about what I'm saying to you. People are still talking about we want Butch Davis here. What I want people to start doing, so when I started doing that, you know why I did that? And this is part of why I did this today. I want to start making comparisons to right now people. I want somebody to say, you know what, Brett Venables, his first year, he going such and such. Like that, because that's where we are in this deal. We can't keep, bro, Ed Reed got a head full of gray hair. Who's still playing since Frank Gore has retired? Who's still playing from the 01 team in the NFL?
Yeah, ain't nobody playing.
That's my point.
We all know that.
We got to let that go in the sense of we got to let that comparison go. That's why I downplay it, because I want to start making new comparisons, because this is a new UM. That's why I'm really doing what I'm doing.
I don't bring up no comparison about the past. I just know what I hear from some of these players. Like a lot of these Baby Shaq set up in the comment section. But
what do you say?
But I know a lot of these kids, man. Like James Williams, I know these kids personally.
Yeah.
You know, from Open Lock. I know a lot of these children. And people be out here talking crazy, man. They don't even know half of these kids. But when they be talking about these kids, then see them in public, they want to run up in their face and carry it on. Man,
and bro,
stop all that, man.
Donald, I'm with you. That's why I say, how you call a kid trash? How can we call a kid trash? And you heard me on that other show. How do you call a kid trash when I said go look on my tape when I do a video of all of the recruits? Now, one person in the chat said they was trash. Now, one person said they ain't gonna do this. That. Oh, I think what y'all said. Gary Furman was the only one that said that the kid Ja'Curry Brown won't take one snap, and he a grown man.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we don't say this until the kids don't fit our narrative. That's it. Watch this.
I just feel like we need to just give. I know this year was kind of fucked up. We just got to get his coaching staff time and let them bring the recruits in, because people looking at all kind of stuff, man. There's some recruits want to come here. We might get, especially the 2024 kids.
I believe that. But here's what I know, Donald. Here's what I know about this deal. I'm trying. That's why I keep going back to, if you notice, every show I ever went on, my show, Wholesome Street, whatever, every Flow. Coach, what's your expectation for the season? I have none. Coach, we think we win the ACC champion? No. I said it one time jokingly on the show, but no. No. Because I know what it is. I know what we have here. Is our cupboard bare, like they said in the previous call? I don't think so. We got players. We have players. Now, I'm going to tell you where I personally think, and again, us having a constructed, because one thing I'm not a basher, right? You don't ever hear me, man, they sorry hell, you need to get rid of them. Nope. And I don't question play calls too much, right? I may talk about why the guy blocked this or that, but I'm just saying, we talk about, man, he called a stupid, man, I know what it is to call a play. Bro, you trying to, in 25 seconds, you got, not sometimes you ain't got that. You understand? But I look at it, Donald, and I believe exactly what you're saying. And this is why I'm trying to tell people, if you temper your expectations, you won't start making excuses when it doesn't work out. And what happens in the barbershop, Donald, you know what it is in the barbershop. You know what I'm talking about, the barbershop talk.
Right.
Everybody said Mario. Excuse me. Now that it's not working out, we got to point the finger. Right. We got to point the finger at somebody. Who do we point it at? Josh Gaddis. Next week, Kevin Steele. Next week, this person. Next week, that person. Now we killing the kids. Now we killing the kids because they fumble. We killing the kids.
I know they were saying, some of the kids were saying, because they, ain't getting on the field as playbook.
Mm-hmm.
It's like either Willie Williams at the U.
But my question is that factual? See, I don't know. I can't answer that. Like you said, I don't know what's going on at the U. I'm not down there.
You've had a couple of players there. So I don't,
And so there you go. So now it comes a thing that if he doesn't have it, right, and there's a reason. Right. And that's why I tell people, if it's Mario we trust, then it's also Mario we trust why this dude not on the field. It's also Mario trust why this dude is on the field.
But the fans crying for him to be on the field, man don't know the playbook, man. Man, don't know where he's supposed to be at most of the time.
And that's a huge issue. Right? So again, you got to point the finger at somebody, right?
Yeah,
so we ain't
absolutely.
You ain't gonna point at Avonte because you want Avonte on the field. So who do you point the finger at? Man, they don't know what they're doing back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you bash the next guy. So he has James Williams don't know what he's doing. So Avonte can get on. See, that's how this stuff works, man. And fandom is nuts, bro. Like I've seen it. I've seen, bro. I've had parents yelling, "Why my son ain't on the field?"
Yeah.
Your son don't come to practice. He might be the super athletic dude, but he don't come to practice. Dad.
I kind of like what Mario been doing down there because he ain't tolerating none of that crap that Manny tolerated. I can tell you that now.
All right, let me ask you a question. Ellen, she brings up a very great point. So if Avonte doesn't know his playbook, and here's where I go from a coaching standpoint. Y'all know where I stand on this. She says, whose fault when players don't know what they're doing? Ooh. So if Avonte doesn't,
now what I can say on that, you can say you most people can blame the coach, but I don't. When Randy Shannon had Willie Williams, I know Randy is a damn good coach.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it could be the player just can't get it.
Well, here's what I have to tell you, and that's where I disagree. I've always said as a coach, if you are worth your salt and you make $600, $400, $800, $1 million, $2 million a year, there's a reason he was recruited to that school because of his athletic ability. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Not because of his necessarily, maybe his football IQ may play into it, but his athletic ability is what sparked the interest in the recruiting process. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. He learned something in high school to make them plays. Now, I know high school is way different than college. I get it. But as a coach making that much money, Donald, I don't care if I got to go out there and line up marshmallows on the damn field.
Yeah.
You got to go above and beyond for your players to get it. They got wristbands now. Bro, this dude, they have wristbands that's got 9 pages in it, dog. You got 2 arms. That's 18 pages of plays you can put in there and tell him exactly what to do on this play. I'm just now, if he don't know how to flip a wristband open, then we got some real problems. But what I'm saying is, you can even put one on your belt. So now you at what? You at 27 plays.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
So now that's 27 pages. If you got 27 pages of defensive plays, bro, we got a problem. So all I'm saying is, great question by Ellen, but I'm always going to hold the coach accountable to say a kid doesn't know his playbook. Now, will he execute that well? That's a different story. But knowing what you're supposed to do, being able to tell me, coach, on 2x2 set, I'm supposed to be inside leverage, 8x1, eyes on the quarterback, peripheral in this guy. He should be able to walk me through it and talk me through it. Now, can he?
Yeah.
Now, can he execute it? That's where the problem lies. That falls on the player. But knowing what to do, as a coach, you get paid that much money, better get it done.
Yeah, I know it's not a problem with athleticism at all. So I don't know. I don't know what goes on in practice. Like I said, I've got it from a couple of players and players, parents. Like I said, I know a couple of them. So, and, everybody was wanting him on the field. They was basically saying that, coach was waiting on him to catch up.
Yeah, so I agree. And here's the thing too. I want to say this, and even to Bishop that called in, he's an Oklahoma fan. I know we all have systems as coaches, right? I have my preferred system. I do. But when I came here and got the job up here, I had to alter it at first.
Right.
And I had to alter it in a way, not necessarily to get my players, but to what my players could do. What could they do athletically? For example, when I was in Miami, we were usually stronger than we were faster, believe that or not. So a lot of ways in which we played things worked towards literally our strength, literally like how strong we were. When I got here, we weren't as strong, but we were faster, right? And we were a better team as a whole than as individuals. So when I looked at it, I said, okay, how can I get the team to play faster and play lateral? Meaning, how do I get all 11 guys to make plays and we get the offense to move laterally? That means you have to alter, as the professional, you have to alter your skill set a little bit until you bring pieces. And every piece you bring in through recruiting, you can go back to your system the way you wanted it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally. I get what you're saying.
And that's right there, I think, is a big problem. I think personally, if you ask me where I think there's a breakdown at Miami right now, I think that's it. And the reason I say that, you can't tell me we don't have talent at Miami. I'm not saying these guys are Heisman Trophy winner. I'm not saying these guys are Biletnikoff winners or whatever these awards are. But you can't tell me we don't have talent to win ball games or at least be competitive. You can't tell me that. And you're going to tell me Duke has more competitive talent, and in all of the 8 games they've played, they've only lost by a total of 14 points? 2 games by 3 points and 1 game by 8 points? I highly doubt that.
Only thing Duke has is very old. Their O-line was much older, and some of their D-line too, 4-year guys.
Exactly. And the injury bug has not hit them. See, people ain't talked about, bro, now they talking about firing the strength and conditioning coach because of injuries. What are we doing, y'all? But you notice everything is about everything around Coach Cristobal, because everybody jumped on the Cristobal bandwagon, which they should have. But because it doesn't fit the narrative, Donald, of he's the savior, we got to blame his apostles.
Right.
Now, when he get to year 3 or 4 and it still look like this, then they're gonna jump on Cristobal head, which I highly doubt it gets this way.
What I pass on and say, neither we was behind on conditioning, on all of that, man. We just starting to, get our shit together. We was behind.
I'm sorry, your phone went out a little bit. What'd you say on that?
I say on the strength and conditioning, we was behind on it. Like everybody complaining about that, but we not caught up like most schools. We not caught up.
What do you mean? I'm a little confused. What do you mean?
I'm saying say how like North Carolina strength and conditioning and all that. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't have that North Carolina had that we didn't have. Like Mario just on the brain. Like I say, money was the problem. A lot of the kids are saying like as far as like it's a lot more better eating. It's like them kids was barely making it last year, man. Out here in some of these games.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, X has a broken foot. There's no strength and conditioning drill for a broken foot, bro. Like you don't strengthen your foot bone.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not talking to you. I was talking about the fans. I'm talking about how fans are saying fire the strength and conditioning coach because of the injuries. I'm like, Jacoby George was out with a thumb. You don't strengthen the thumb joint. Like you get like some of the stuff there. This is what I mean. We're just grab bagging at foolishness because it doesn't fit the narrative of what's happening, because we went around the country as a fan base. We gonna kick everybody behind. We, including myself, I love the Billy Napier. We throwing Billy Napier in the locker when it came to recruits, right? We put Mike Norvell in the locker, right? We gonna kick everybody butt. Clemson ain't that good no more. They lost their defensive coordinator. We finna whoop them. We finna get the ACC. So when you talk that trash and you can't back it up, you got to blame somebody, right? You ever been in the fight, Donald? You ever been in the fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that dude get the best of you. Most people ain't gonna say he got the best of me. Man, I had slipped, dog. Right? So we trying to blame the gravel because the nigga hit me in the eye. Yeah. Excuse my French. Lord have mercy. Y'all got me on the friendly show. I thought I was in the streets. Y'all forgive my language. Coach a work in progress. But what I'm saying is, do you remember Kimbo Slice?
Yeah, I remember that Big D. Me and Big D were locked up together in Starcade in 98, 99.
Oh, yeah? Okay, so check this out.
I was locked up with Big. Me and Big D were locked up together.
Okay, so check first. So remember when he was in the backyard with that dude, And that was the one with the dude I was hanging out the back. I mean,
that's Big D.
Okay. What when he sparked D, baya, he like, hold up. He said, hold up, dog. What was the first thing that came out of Big D mouth?
He's slipping.
Man, I keep slipping, dog. I keep slipping. Nah, this dude keeps slipping. He punches on that eye. That's my point. That we are so quick to make excuses for, in essence, lack of a better term, our failures or our mishaps, instead of just being truthful and say, man, I just put too much into this. It ain't Miami, not where I thought we were right now, but Coach Cristobal gonna get it right. What's so hard about saying that?
Right.
But everything else is. Go ahead, dog. I've been talking a lot. I'm on that cane juice. Talk to me.
You know what I think too? Like when you brought up the point with Brashard and like Santana, right? Because see, Santana was sold out there, him and Reggie Wayne, and Santana had. I remember playing out there. That nigga had some speed. I think they need to just put them out there, put Romello and them out there, and just let them play. That's the only thing I wanted them to do, is just put them out there and just let them just play. Put them out there whole game, let them get a feel for the game. Because sometimes you got to let these kids get a feel for the game.
Yeah, but
I was watching
but again, Donald, to the point, right? Check this out. But to that point, if you don't bend your system to the players, they'll never fit into what you want to do. If you come in, and I'm only speculating, if you come in with a regiment like this, A, B, C, D, E, gonna happen. You'll never do that, Donald. So that's why I say you have to be able to bend until you can buy time to get what exactly the pieces you want. You have to bend your philosophies a little bit. You have to bend these things, because this game is all about winning, dog. I don't care what nobody else say. You can put up 10,000 million yards. Did you win the game?
It's gonna be interesting at the end of the season, because a lot of the parents was asking about Gaddis, so it's gonna be interesting at the end of the season. I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, but Donald, check this out. That's crazy. Your boy threw for 496 yards, but don't nobody care, because we lost the game. We lost the game. Yep. You can have every stat in the book. The only one stat that matters, win-loss column. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So that's the point, is that if we as a fan base would just simply say, just be very honest and stop trying to point a finger. You can't point a finger at why people win and lose games in football, because there's so many variables, dog. Even if it comes down to the last play of the game, I could defend this pass, win the ball game. He catches it, they win the ball game. But you can always go back to the play before, where the defensive lineman jumped off sides and gave him the first so they could throw that ball. You get what I'm coming from? It's a team effort. So if all we just simply say is, man, look here, but nobody want to prove themselves wrong. Nobody wants to say, right? The first step of denial, what is admittance, right? You got to admit it, right? Or the first step of whatever is denial. You got to admit, man, I thought we were going to go 10-2, but we did.
I know we wasn't.
Right, but I know Coach Cristobal I'm talking about as a person, not me saying this, but a person says, I thought we were going 10-2 and we didn't. But I know I believe in Cristobal enough that he has a plan. He ain't going to lead us wrong right now. So I'm going to stick by his side, right? I don't understand the masterpiece. It doesn't make sense right now. But in 2 years or next year, we can see the growth. That's okay. That's okay.
Like I tell Kane fans, boy, y'all to be surprised how many recruits want to come to this, want to come
here.
Yeah. I thought that losing was at first I thought losing probably deter some. Man, they want Mario. I don't know what he say to these kids, man, but boy, he got a mouthpiece on him.
I've seen it. He a passionate dude. He'll make you want to run through a wall. You know what? And I have to tell you this. And this is my firm belief. If you're weak and meek, he doesn't respect that.
Absolutely.
That's for players, coaches, adult, whoever. If you are a weak-minded person or you're a weak character, he doesn't respect that. Now I have to say this. That could hurt him in year one. I'm not, again, talking about bending philosophies a little bit. Times are different. the day of the 5 years of getting your team and getting in your recruit. See, all that stuff people are talking about is yesteryear talk. Wait till he gets his recruits. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Football doesn't work that way today. That's why I'm trying to get people in. Stop comparing. See, we're trying to compare.
Yeah,
we're trying to compare the Old Testament to the New Testament. This is new, bro.
Yeah, you can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it.
But that's what's happening. The 40-year-old, 30, 40, 50, and older people are looking at football through their lens of the 80s, 90s, the 70s, whatever. Those days are done. You seeing coaches getting hired and fired in 2 years.
Yep. And Reed and Hospital said it themselves. Like, they had to do it to make their own wave. Can't compare back in the days, and they said it themselves. Like, they got to make their own path. They're ready for them to talk about now how you gonna do it.
Yeah, those. You know who those back in the day stories are for? That's for us. That's for the old heads like us.
Yeah.
These kids today, bro. Just think about this. And I had to learn this through music, Donald. I had to learn this through music. Because Scarface, my favorite rapper, right? Solo rapper, favorite rapper.
Right.
Scarface got 5-6 minute songs. I'm playing a song. Them jits in a, dang, coach, this song's still on? Dang, coach. I said, yeah, because we were real such and such. Right? I said a song, Donald, was just like an essay. There was an introduction. There was 3 sentences for the body and a conclusion. And you had chorus between each one of them. Right? Now, a Rod Wave song is 1 minute and 42 seconds, dog. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. They love it. Yeah. But I'm going to show you why. Do you know why those songs are like that? I'm talking about people who adapt. I heard this and I learned this. Do you know why those songs are only 2 minutes and 12 seconds?
Why?
You have any idea?
Nah, put me up on game.
Because they adjusted to TikTok. TikTok, you only upload 2 minute song, 212 or something like that. So they want to go viral through TikTok. You can't upload a 5-minute song on TikTok.
So you gotta adjust. Yeah.
You got to adjust. Do you want to have longer songs? Probably.
Absolutely.
I guarantee they probably done cut one song into 3 parts. If you really think about it. Because if you look at a rap song, it has one verse. It really has one verse. A 2-minute song got a 40-second intro. Mustard on the beat, and the beat be playing do-do-do. Such and such shot this, right? The video dude got to get his thing. Do-do-do. You got to see the girl go by in the car. She got to walk by with her butt cheeks out. He ain't said nothing yet. He got one. Rod Wave got songs with one verse, dog. It's literally 15 words. Your whole song is 15 words.
That's crazy.
And your chorus. And it's done. It's hard so many times I can't believe. My heart was the chorus is longer than the verse.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I can recall listening to that Rod Wave and being like, that's it.
Bro, I'm waiting for the next verse. That thing done went off.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, a whole nother verse, whole nother song.
Bro, like, look at the times. They don't even make music video like the Baby. I appreciate him because he actually make music videos. They wild, but he make them. Rod Wave take the dude with the camera that followed him around that concert and made a whole video out of it. Like, these are the things, the reason I'm bringing that up is we're talking about times adjusting. You know what I'm saying, Donald?
Right.
We're talking about being able to adjust to times. So I have to say this, and I have to be very honest. You can still have your philosophy, but if you don't alter it to today's times, you won't be successful.
Right.
Right. If Mario Cristobal does not alter, I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm just making a comparison. If he doesn't alter his time from when he played in the 90s, yeah, you can still be a tough-nosed team, and we're going to do how we do anything is how we do everything. And I get it. I understand. That's great. That's wall art, and that's cool. But you got to remember, too, these shorties been like that 16, 17 years. Where they ain't have to do everything. They didn't grow up like how you do anything is how you do everything. They grew up as how I do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's how they grew up.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
And so that's the problem. And so when you come in, there's going to be pushback. There's going to be some animosity to it. Wait a minute. I ain't have to go to practice, and I played every Friday night and put up 7 catches for 194 yards. And I was the such and such in the newspaper. I was the top 20 in Central Florida. So what you mean, coach? Huh? Because you be watching I Am Athlete. Them dudes tell them stories.
I definitely watch it.
You know what them dudes?
Watch it.
You heard Shady McCoy? Man, I ain't practiced with them dudes. What you talking about tackling? I ain't doing no tackling. And these dudes in the NFL. Was it Dez Bryant? No, who was that say? I don't watch film. I don't watch nothing, coach. I just watch your release. Who was that? Asante Samuels.
Went up there and said that.
Asante Samuels.
I know Asante Samuels said it.
He said, watch film. He said, no, I'm the last one in and the first one to leave.
I just see it all the time.
I'm just saying these are and again, it's not to our age, but I'm just saying that these are the kind of players you're getting today. And winning masks a lot of stuff. You know, one thing I'll say this, and people like to bring up Nick Saban, part of his brilliance of being a coach in today's era, and I think he's about to lose it. What do I mean by that? I think the NIL is going to be too much for him. Like, I think it's not going to be enough control. And I think he's trying to win one more to beat Bear Bryant and get out of here. But
it's kind of the NIL cheat code now, man.
Yeah, but what's happening? One thing I tell you about Nick Saban's brilliance in coaching,
right?
He knows what he doesn't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He knows that I can't handle these high-profile players, so I'm gonna hire somebody to take care of them. Right. Meaning, because I'll lose my on this dude if I have to deal with that. So I'm gonna hire you, and if it ain't right, I'm gonna fire you. It's just that simple. And Nick Saban said it. People think he a tough-nosed dude, right? But he said when they played the Tennessee game, did you hear the interview? What he said?
No, I didn't hear it.
In the interview, Donald, he says, I knew something was wrong with our team because our team wasn't chanting in the tunnel before we went out.
Wow.
But most people wouldn't think Nick Saban would have his team chanting before they go out, would you? If you really think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You would think he's like, hey, man, just chill out. He said, I turned around and said, hey, man, why y'all not chanting, man? Now, this is Nick Saban, the guy that don't want to talk to nobody, or, rah, 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 rah.
Wow. Oh.
The chat going, there go my man King Kyle. They say Mario working on changing the culture is going to take 2 years. I told people right now, this is not hate. This is reality. You won't see elite status football to 2026.
Yeah, somewhere. I you know what? We was talking about that because you know the Bushes, don't it?
The who?
Yeah.
Hey man, why Devin slap Tua like that, man? Tua try to run up on that man. But anyway, go ahead. He from behind the P.
We the same thing, and they was talking about that like probably a couple of days ago, and they were saying the same thing. Like, man, it's gonna take time for him to get that together, man. And they were saying about 2025 somewhere up in that range. They said, but not in no 2 years.
Nah, you're not even close. Because here's the thing: this year is done. This year's done. The 2023 class is literally his first class. We can say last year by technicality, but he was salvaging what was left. 23 is his first class. These kids are still in high school. Next year will be the 23 season. They will be true freshmen. How many true freshmen are significant contributors to a college football team? Out of 25 of them, how many think are significant contributors?
Sure.
How many do you think, Donald?
I'll say about 5.
And that's high, but okay, let's go with 5. By year 2, that'll be year 24. Those 5 are contributing. How many more of that class do you think are going to be major contributors? of that same 23 class. We in year 24.
Yeah, you're right about that. I get your point. What you getting at? I definitely get it.
That's my point. So by the time they come in and see, people think year 3. Everybody ain't leaving in 3 years, bro.
Everybody ain't leaving in 3 years.
No, sir. But the ones that do leave, you got to replace.
Yep.
And so that's why I say not till 26. 25, we'll make some. I think we should have a good wins. We should maybe upset some people. You know, we might upset a team here and there. And then 26, it should be rolling by then.
Yeah, it should be rolling by then. Cause that's yeah. I give it about that time somewhere up in there too. You should be rolling.
Ah, yes, Briley.
I'm in it for that. That's in it for. I'm just ready for us to win, but I'm in it for the long haul. I ain't trying to rush them because I know it's gonna take time.
Yeah, Briley, you opened up a can of worms I wanted to talk about. I was supposed to be off of here in an hour, but I love talking to the team. I love talking to the team. I like that. You heard that? You heard that other Blaze? I like talking to the team. Y'all my team, man. I'm your team. We in this thing together. So, Donald, Briley brings up, since ain't nobody calling like that, it's me and you on the line. We just got listeners, but me and you chopping it up, dog. So Briley says, why the hell don't you count this year? This was a top 15 talent roster. This year counts. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, Briley. Donald, this is exactly why I say people want their cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching, and Briley, you brought it up, so you open the door, I'm gonna walk through it. I was watching a podcast, I can't remember, or a vlogcast, whatever they call it now. I was watching it. And in the same breath, they were talking about Jimbo Fisher.
Right.
And they said Jimbo Fisher is terrible. It's a debacle. He's had the top ranked classes for the past 3 or 4 years. This is what they said. They've had the top ranked classes, top 5 or 10 within the top 10 the past 4 years, right?
Right.
And he can't get them to play. And in the same breath, they said Miami has also recruited some of the top, has always had, even though it didn't work out. No, this is what they said. Even if it didn't work out, and I may be paraphrasing, I'll be off a little bit, but just follow my lead. Miami also has had some of the top ranked classes, maybe within the top 15 for the past couple years. But these players are not just working. These players are not working out right. Look at the contrast in that, Don.
Wow.
You don't want to blame players not working out for for Texas A&M.
Right.
But when it comes to Miami, when they say we don't have talent, we got the top ranked 15, and Briley just says it. Why don't you want to count this year? This was a top 15 talent roster. How are we going to say we don't have talent? How do we say in the same breath we don't have talent on this team? They're all they're trash. But yet we want to have credit. But we want to give credit to the head coach because it was a top 15 talent roster. Huh?
Right.
Come on, y'all. We can't live in both worlds. You can't grab a double-edged sword and not get cut, dog.
You can look at a lot of our players and tell that they wasn't developed right, man. Because if you look at the players we got, right, you got a Jordan Miller who was been here for years, almost 4 years, and he's a 3-star. But then you bring in Darryl Jackson from Maryland, you know, and he's a lot more developed than him. Messador is just, I don't know.
But here's another thing: we get 25 scholarships a year, roughly, right? Well, that's what it's supposed to be. How many of those 25 do you think actually pan out?
Man,
they don't.
Now, that's a tough. I don't even. Well, I can't even call it because it's horrible.
Yeah, but they don't. A lot of them don't pan out, dog.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of them don't pan out. And here's the problem: people are saying, "Oh, well." I heard some people I think in the space talking they're going to bridge the gap with they're going to bridge the gap with transfer portal.
Man,
but there's
please.
a difference for adding to your roster with the transfer portal or replacing your roster with the transfer portal. And here's what I don't want to say. And I hope to God this doesn't happen. I've seen it happen though.
Right.
You don't want to see a mutiny on your hands at the Hurricanes, Donald.
Hmm.
You don't want to see these players turn. Because you know who did that? Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska turned on Scott Frost, even though they weren't doing well. As soon as he said what he had to say and started throwing people under the bus, they turned on Scott Frost, got him out of there, and then started playing well again. Saw that? I've seen it. When you throw, and again, I don't want to go belabor this point with I don't know if this is true or factual. If it is, with the Josh Gaddis thing about it's the worst offense I ever coached.
Yeah, it was said.
But listen,
it was
okay, and that's fine. Again, I don't want to use yesteryear. Back in my day, coach, you tell me my daddy should have shot me on the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But again, back in my day, 25 years ago. Right now, bro, think about the kind of kids you're dealing with. Right now.
Yeah, these social media kids, they weak, man.
Bro, you can't tell a kid no.
Yeah.
Think about these kids. You can't tell a kid, you a teacher in the class can't tell a kid he can't go to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So why in the world, see this, you have to know your audience. So why in the world would you go in a room and tell them kids you the worst coach, whether you mean it or not? You have to know your audience.
Yeah.
I guarantee people like to bring up Saban. You think he ever walked in? Do you think he walked in Tennessee and say y'all suck when they lost against Tennessee? Y'all the worst group of kids. Y'all missed the tackle. Y'all let one dude score 5 touchdowns. Y'all DB suck. You think he talked to them like that?
Yeah, fuck no. He definitely ain't do that.
You want to know why? And he the GOAT. Do you know that dude can do whatever he want and not get fired?
Yeah.
You know, live, messing with kids. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about, bro, and he know better than to do that.
Yeah, that was enough.
Because when you walk in a room like that, Donald, and you say that, that's an emotional response.
And you know what? You actually had people that was some good to say somebody should have said worse. I'm like, man, are y'all crazy? Come on, man. I gotta cut that out, man.
And here go the flip side. If that was their kid in the room, you know what they would have said? He said what? He said,
yeah, ready to go up there.
Yeah. But the times are different. That's why I'm trying to get people to stop talking about yesteryear and making comparisons. I don't mind talking about yesteryear and the good days. I love it. But we talking about the comparisons.
Right.
We got to know you have to know the kid. These are the same kids, dog. Do you think Dallas Turner is any different than James Williams?
Nope.
They played on the same team. They were coached by the same. When I'm talking about difference, I'm talking about the type of kid. Like, he's soft. He is. No. He plays on a very good team. We're not a very good team right now. They the same generation. They rode on the same school bus. But you got to know your audience, dog. You can't do the things you did then that you do now. You got to approach them differently.
I don't get that, man.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't get that. And then you got a lot of people in the comment section telling, saying, Keyshawn, you ain't gonna be missed and all this. Get out of here.
There you go. Panama Jack. Did y'all see Kyler Murray tell Cliff Kingsbury to calm the F down? No, I didn't see it. But see, the NFL is a total different beast.
Yeah. But that's a job.
That's a job. That's not, listen.
You get paid to do your job.
Bro, you not even getting paid, bro. Some of these coaches ain't even older than the players.
Yeah. They right there with them.
It is what you're saying is literally a job. It ain't no difference than you go in the warehouse, you got a supervisor, you got the forklift worker, the picker, all these different people. he basically saying, hey, Kyle, I need you to throw that ball to that guy. Can you get over there to catch that ball? That's really what it is. They used to talk about Dante Culpepper and Nick Saban. He used to call Nick Saban Lil Nick. Hey, Lil Nick. This is how they talk. Hey, Lil Nick, come here. And again, they on first name basis. You don't hear them. Do you hear them talk? They don't even call each other coach. Tom Brady says Bill. Yeah, man, me and Bill were talking about. Yeah, me and Bill were talking, and we came up with this play design. Bro, like two dudes talking about what they're gonna eat for lunch.
That's how you be successful. You got to get on their level.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get on their level. You got to put your pride aside and get on their level.
Yeah, that's a total different beast. Like you say, how Asante Samuel's gonna go in there and tell Bill Belichick, "Hey, I ain't doing that, bro."
I cracked up when I heard that, boy.
Yeah, bro. I ain't doing that, Bill.
No, sir.
Total different beast. Total different beast, bro. Total different beast.
Nick Saban of the NFL.
And I'm gonna tell you what Nick Saban probably learned that lesson. There was an article. There was an article when Nick was at the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
And y'all could research this, where I forget the player's name, but he had him crying. Y'all remember that? It was a defensive tackle. He got on him so bad. He had him crying.
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah. And I think he may have learned right there that says, hey, bro, like, I can't do this with these kids. It's different.
You definitely can't go with them kids.
It's different, bro. You can't mother F these kids like you used to back in the day.
No, sir.
So that's why I want to get rid of the back in the days. I want to get rid of those comparisons. And let's talk about today.
Neither, because I be wanting these kids to be able to build their own brand. Let these kids have their own. If you keep comparing it and that's all they hear, it's gonna be hard for them to live up to that. They ain't gonna be rebellious against it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to hear that shit. If I was a player, I wouldn't want to hear about that.
Nah, that's real, man.
I wouldn't want to hear, man, 2001 team, and even though that I'm part of that because I'm on this same team under the same brand, but I don't want to hear. I want to support and love.
Yeah. And here we go. Justin Alley says Miami isn't putting players in the NFL like they used to, because the guys that were going to the NFL, those guys are starting on other teams. Yep. So here's a back in the day comparison for Justin. Back in the day, we would have had Dallas Turner. Back in the day, you know why? Recruiting was different. There was no such thing. There were regional recruits. There were national recruits. Back in the day, right? Back in the day, we would have had our hands in those guys because there was no internet. The same way I'm talking to you, and we create our own news and sport networks now. Bro, they had books and media guides. So a guy in
Oklahoma, like that story.
Bro, right? It's just like back in the day, things had to go through the mail, right? Somebody had to pick up a phone and call you. And guess what? They didn't have instant access to you. They had to leave a message at your house, and you didn't get it till you came home and checked your answer machine.
Yep.
Back in the day, coaches didn't have instant access to players on their phone. Now, these coaches directly can connect to Dallas Turner.
Yep.
They didn't have to call, hello, Miss Turner, how you doing? This is Coach Hayes from the University of Miami. I wanted to see if your son was in. And no, they DMing the dude all day long. Hey, boy, you really balled out last night. So those NFL guys, Justin, back in the day, were staying home. Maybe like a Bush escapes and goes out to Florida State.
Florida State, yep.
Yeah. So Florida, everybody couldn't go to Miami. Everybody can't go to Florida State. They kind of split it. But the majority of the elite players stayed home. They stayed in Miami. Some leaked out to Florida State.
Yep.
But now our elite players are the ones that are getting drafted by other teams. So just Think about the first round draft pick, where they're from originally. Those used to be Miami players. They're not anymore.
Right about that.
Those back in the day players, the first round, second round draft pick guys, third round draft pick, are the elite guys that was coming out of South Florida that we are not getting anymore.
Definitely getting them more, bro. The McGateys, the Johnson, all them people.
Bro.
Even today.
Can I tell you this? Since we talking back in the day, do you know back in the day we wouldn't have had if back in the day was in the 2000s. You remember the internet just popped around in 2000, so we got a little lucky.
Yeah. We probably would have had half of them motherfuckers.
Come on. So Donald, check this out. That was my part. You just took my words in my mouth. So Donald, if I'm using this back in the day to say that's why I want to stop. Panama Jack, you're 100% right. I agree, Coach Hayes. We can't Woody Hayes these kids anymore. Bro, you can't Bobby Knight these kids anymore throwing chairs around the room. You can't. You can't, but everybody want to say back in the day. You know how many people say, but back in the day, Bobby Knight hit me in my back with a chair, and I enjoyed it. I'm dazed up, bro.
Black eye.
Huh?
Bobby would have been knocked out playing.
That's what I'm saying. This dude choking his own son, almost choked him to sleep on the side. What? This dude punting basketballs through the arena and still had a job. You were talking about back in the day.
I'm gonna back then, boy, Hazen was at a boy. It was at all time high with everything back then. Coach Hayes and everything was allowed.
I got a better one. Y'all want to hear a back in the day story? Y'all will lose y'all mind if you see a coach smoke a cigarette on the sideline. They used to smoke. Bear Bryant used to smoke cigarettes at the goalpost, right, and drop them at the goalpost back in the day.
I remember I played with Northwest Boys Club. My optimist coach White was smoking a cigarette.
Y'all will lose y'all mind if y'all see a coach out there on the sideline, Chief and Square. Man, please.
It's a lot different now. Kids a lot weaker, man.
And that's my point. We got to adjust our philosophy until we can build what we want. The game has even changed. You can't even hit a dude no more. Forget the targeting. Like, he falling. Like, I hate to say this. The Will Mallory call, I know it's going to sound crazy. Yeah. By rule, it was targeting. I get it.
But that was a hit. That was a legal hit. I said it.
You said legal?
Yeah.
Right. So it's back to intent. That kid didn't try to hit Mallory in the head.
No, he didn't try to do it.
He was trying to make a play. But now this kid, right, is getting kicked out of game, might not lose his future, but losing opportunities to make an impact for his future. Because we want to score more points on offense and keep the chains moving. Because guess what? That same hit I just told you with Tua and Bush, why Tua didn't get kicked out of the game for targeting? He dropped his head and hit Bush. Yeah. He dropped his head and hit Bush square in the face mask and his shoulder. But guess what? Not one commentator. Listen, not one commentator, not one fan said, you know what? Excuse me. Not one commentator, not one fan said, oh, man, that should be targeting. You know what they said? Oh, man, this guy's not going to have a long career if he keeps taking hits like that. But he could have easily broke his neck right there by ducking his head using the crown of his helmet, right or wrong.
Yep, absolutely.
So Bush is standing there straight up, and he takes a shot to the face. So why does he not? And remember, it don't have to be a big shot. It has to be a shot you saw Bush's head go back. Why is that not called targeting?
I was watching the game with my neighbor, and he said he ain't know Bush had went to Flanagan because I guess when it was causing man, he was a monster.
Yeah. You said again? Say it again, huh?
I said my neighbor was watching the game. Me and my neighbor, we was watching the game at the house, and he ain't know Bush went to Flanagan.
That's another dude that got out, right? How does he leave there and go to Michigan? Not because his daddy went to Michigan. Daddy go to Florida State. How do we lose that recruit out of Miami? We've been suffering for linebackers forever. We looking for linebackers forever. And you gonna tell me this dude may go down as one of the top linebackers in Big Ten history, at least for this decade.
I remember they say Golden wasn't even they say Golden wasn't even talking to majority of these recruits, man.
But that's my point. So when he asked for why guys not going to the league, because the elite players in South Florida, that doesn't mean the other players are not very good. That doesn't mean the other players are not going to be major contributors in college football. But the elite players are getting out of here. They are going elsewhere.
Yep.
The Sony Michels, right? The James White. Yep. How do we let James White go to Wisconsin, bro?
I ain't understand that. You know what? And I didn't think James was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be gangster, but I didn't know he was gonna be that good.
But he was good in high school.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I didn't think it was gonna,
But what I'm saying, he was a recruitable player in my eyes for Miami.
Right.
He was a recruitable player.
He needed him.
Yeah. We talking about we don't have no linebackers. Huh? We don't have no linebackers. Okay.
Cook all of them. When Cook left, Cook and see. Well, let me tell the fan base this, because all these Dalvin Cook wanted to go to University of Miami. Him and Freeman. Let's get this clear.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, him and Freeman wanted to go to University of Miami. I think Randy ain't want Freeman, and Cook ain't like the way he was getting recruited by Golden now.
Mm-hmm.
We had Cook wrapped up, man. Cook wanted to play in front of the family. Golden boxed that.
Yeah, see, I don't know all the details. A lot of that stuff. I was coaching myself, so I didn't follow it as closely.
Golden.
Yeah,
I'm glad he.
Yeah, but those are the things. These are the things I'm saying. Like I say, we lose a Cook, right? We lose this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's plenty of players around here, bro, that we can go after, but we're losing those battles to other schools.
Until we start winning, we ain't gonna get them. But Mario, they are willing to come without winning, because they say they see his vision. They see what goes. I guess a lot of them go to the practice, and they see how the practice are. I guess from when Manny was there. When Manny was there, like you said, it was like a little mini club out there. Everybody doing what they want. They laughing, they playing. It's like practice ain't really that serious.
King Kyle, you said White was good, not great. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, he tripping. White was gangster.
I don't know about that one, Cook. Cook. I don't know about that, King Kyle. Look at that right here. Quit. I guess Quayez fresh. My Buckeyes got a good amount of Florida players. Yeah. Think about let's bring about the Bosas. Huh?
Yeah.
What if the Bosas decide to stay home? The Bosa brothers. What if they decide to stay home?
That's all about the Bosas.
Yeah. Like, just think about that. Dude, so good. Man, I ain't playing no more, coach.
Yeah.
I'm straight. I don't want to play no more, coach. Y'all got it. Y'all got a young buck back there named Chase Young. Let him play. Hey, let him play in my place, coach. Y'all got it. Like, those are where the draft players are going.
Yep.
Ellen said, let me see, coach, you've been complaining about the lack of LB recruits. Yeah. Whatever.
Yep. Linebacker play been horrible, man. We haven't been getting a recruit for years.
Yeah. Man, hold up. My man, Courtney Joe. Where you been, Courtney Joe? Man, y'all don't understand. When y'all don't call in, my regulars don't call in, dog. I be getting worried about y'all boys, man. Like Kevin, my man Courtney Joe, baby. I converted him to a Florida State fan to Miami fan. So he back. Courtney Joe, they be asking about you too, though. Where the Google man at? So somebody said, look at the numbers on Cook. Not great. What numbers on Cook?
Man, I wanted Cook.
Man, I don't care what. Listen, I don't care if he had 2 yards. And you see
I
that
want to
dude
cook,
when
man.
you see that dude play live, you know he a live ball player. Like sometimes we can't get caught up in these stats, bro. Like you got to know ball players, dog. You got to know ball players. Here go another one. Look at Ja'Cory Brooks right now. There go another dude right out of Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, right.
He in the back of the end zone killing these cats out there in Alabama right now.
Yeah. And if Mario probably would have got here 2 years earlier, we get Ja'Cory because the dad really liked Mario.
Come on, man. This dude, but these are the elite players. Those are the difference makers, right? So when I talk about difference makers, those are the difference makers. Don't know they could be difference makers in college until they show up.
Because they show up, right?
Oh, he said, "Sorry, Coach, I meant White, not Cook." Yeah, but again, same thing. Who cares about his numbers? I'm looking at him playing. I'm looking at what he did. I'm looking at the work he was putting in. I'm watching this firsthand. Like, hold up, dog. Like what people underestimate. He may have had 3 yards to get it, right?
Right.
But the dude like pound through that thing and like you know what I'm trying to say? Something it might only be 2 yards, but bruh, like you like wait a minute, that was amazing what he just did, man.
What we need from our running back, from Thad, that's what we needed out of him.
And Thad, and back to this, right? Thad ain't a hammer to the nail. I keep telling people that.
Yeah, he's not. Thad ain't that type of back, man. I don't know why people keep thinking Thad like this old. No, he ain't that kind of player.
He not. When you go look at his highlight tape, I broke it down. His highlight tape is what? Him cutting on dudes, outrunning cat. You don't see his highlight. You don't see his highlight just pounding dudes on short yardage.
No, he wasn't doing that.
Nah, he make them miss in the hole. Right? I thought he had great feet for a big guy, but that's the problem. When they see us in a certain way, they assume that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch my drift, Don. If they see us in a certain way.
From watching some of these games, when I saw him run, I said, man, Thad is not a bruiser, man. He's not a bruiser back, man. If that's the case, he would have been he would have been in there. I think Citizen might be.
Can I tell you something?
Bruiser. I think Chaney is. Chaney is more of a bruiser back.
I think Chaney got both. He got speed and power.
Yeah,
I think
Chaney.
I always thought he was a great combination of Harris and Knight.
That's who actually run that rock, Chaney.
Yeah, but dude can't get past the injury bug live on his body. He stay hurt. But here's the funny thing. I'm gonna say this, Don. I got to get up off here, man. Coach got to go to work. But I look at as an individual, and I'm gonna just say this: if I'm Thad Franklin, if I'm not any running back, but if I'm Thad, y'all bring in the third string running back,
right,
to get 4th and 1. I'm hot right now.
Yeah,
I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
But you can't be mad because, and to maybe to some of his defense, some of the blocking ain't been there. We get no kind of push. I don't know if you've seen the good, bad, and ugly. But
yeah, bro, the blocking is horrible.
Bro, we get no push. None.
And
like when you go look at like yeah, but I'm saying when you go look at other teams, like when I do the good, bad, their whole offensive line is in the end zone or 1 or 2 yards beyond whatever the mark they need to get, the line of the game. It's a stalemate.
Yeah, it ain't moving. I don't think Scaife should be a tackle, and I think Campbell should be on the right side.
You don't have no choice at this point, bro. You so low.
Yeah, I know.
Bro,
but I'm just saying
low, Donald.
Like at least, but we knew Zion was hurt. I figured Campbell should have been on the right. Zion should have been on the left. You know, and Scaife should have been a guard, man.
I just think we so depleted, bro. Like when it comes to the offensive line, like I get why we can't run the ball. I thought when you look at the good, bad, and ugly, that outside zone play, the way they designed it. But then here's the flip side, right? Let's flip it. Then you look at Seymour. There was one particular play on a pass rush. The blocking scheme was too exotic. You fanned one side, You brought Seymour around to try and get the guy blitzing off the edge, right? Do you remember? I don't know if y'all remember that play.
No, I don't remember. Okay. When he got blowed up?
No. Okay. I know it's a delay. Just put your hand up. Put your right hand up and look at the back of your hand.
Right.
50, Seymour was your ring finger. They pulled him to go to the left, right? They pulled him to go to the left to kick out the defensive end that's standing outside your thumb.
Right.
On pass blocking.
Oh, shit.
Now, I'm going to show you something. You saw what I just did there?
Yeah.
That's coaching. I can't see you. You can't see me. But I took my hand as an offensive line and walked you right through it. That's what some people have to understand what coaching is right there.
Simple.
But you put your hand out. I guarantee you were looking at the back of your hand and you like,
I'm looking at the back.
And now you could visualize, because I was trying to tell you couldn't get it. So I said, okay. And I understood why you couldn't get it because we're just talking, right? So I said, take your hand, do this. That's what people have to understand coaching is right there. Find a way to get their players to learn. And that what I did right there, if you got to take your hand to teach you how, on this play, I'm the ring finger. I don't care what you do. But that's my point right there, Donald. If you're going to get paid, whether it's all that money or no money, if you're going to call yourself coach, coach them. Coach me, coach. That's why it's a Coach Me, Coach podcast. So just that simple. Right. You learn to look at your finger, your hand, and you followed along with me just by looking at the back of your hand when we visually couldn't see each other. I use that as an example to say there's 1,000,001 ways to teach somebody something. You don't have to teach them one way because that's all you know.
Right. Find a way.
I'm telling you, dog, you got to go get 5 blow-up dolls and lay them out. I don't care what you got to do.
You know what? By you saying that, you're right, because I know when I was teaching my kids how to count money, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was in the kindergarten and the other was in the first grade, I found out a way to get them to count change. So what I did, I had to go to the store and buy like a bunch of little cakes and chips and cookies and candy, and I put prices on them. You know, I put a whole bunch of change on the table with dollars and everything. If you want that off that table, you got to be able to count that money. They figured that out. Well, it ain't take long. About the whole house bought the table.
But imagine this. Hey, you need to go over there and give me 32 cents for this, and you walk off. Yeah, the kid knows it's 32 cents, but he don't know how to count 32 cents.
How to count it, right.
So he could tell you, Daddy, it's 32 cents for these chips. But does he know how to get to 32 cents with the change? No. So you can't say you taught him. Yes, technically you did teach him, but he didn't grasp the concept. So what'd you do? You made a store and made him figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right. Made it easy. Made them want to learn it. You got it. Yeah, I got what you're saying.
And that's what good coaches do. Good coaches just don't talk at the player. They find a way to walk them through it. And sometimes it's something super simple. Like I said, look at the back of your hand. Put up your right hand. Look at your ring finger. Act like you pulling outside the guy that's outside the thumb. Bomb, we're done. Right. Just that fast. You put the phone on your shoulder, held your hand up, looked at it, had the ring finger. Oh, okay, I got you, coach.
I hope they can find a way to do something with Vontae, man. You know, put Balaam in something. But it should be a way, like you say, they can walk him through it to where, you know, he should be able to get something.
Mm-hmm.
But Kitchen is a dog, boy.
Yeah, he just got to get his eyes right. He don't trust his eye. His eyes are his enemy right now.
My Kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his Cam Kitchen. His eyes are his worst enemy right now. Trying to just do too much. That's all. Yeah, that's all. So, no, man. Listen, man. I'm about to get up off here. I say every time I get on here, man, I start talking to the team, dog. I don't get a chance to get off because I hate having to go, man. I like doing this. I like doing the live shows. And that's why when I be on here by myself, if I was on here with Dom, we'd have did an hour, I'd have been gone, and I'm good, man. But You start getting the phone call, hearing people out, you learn stuff, right? Like Donald, me and you, we talked on wholesome shows, kind of hard to hear because of the setup he had. But now we had a chance to really listen to what each other's saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I hope you understand that there's no ill will or malice towards the Hurricanes. Right. Excuse me. I'm going to call it like I see it. And it's not a downplay, but a lot of stuff that I do, I try. You can't just, one thing I learned about the show, right? You just can't beat people across the head with it. Just like, you got to change my philosophy. I got to get people to understand you can't just do this. And that's why I keep telling telling these fans, stop whooping the players, dog. Why are we whipping? Why are we saying these players are soft? Why are we saying they suck? Why? Dog, we are injury riddled, dog. We are to our third string center. Most third string centers don't play ever.
Crazy.
Jakai Clark. What did Jakai Clark out? Not Jakai Clark. What was my man's name?
Dennis.
No, Dennis hurt too.
Dennis did. Oh, he still.
Man, that dude threw his helmet off and everything.
Oh man, we fucked up.
I'm trying to see who was the
I thought they had Seymour playing.
He was getting whooped.
Damn.
I won't call him trash. Now I'm gonna say he ain't play very well. I'll say that. Right. I ain't gonna call him trash though. Not Scaife. Who was out there, man? God dog it. What's that dude name? I'm looking at this right now, man. Our kids so banged up.
Right.
They babies, bro. Jalen Rivers. He was out. He dressed, but he wasn't even supposed to play. He ended up playing almost the whole game.
What?
Yeah. Man, we in bad shape, dog.
Yeah, but
yeah, we in bad shape. But anyway, man, let me get off this deal, man. I gotta go get ready to deal. I gotta get off. But man, Donald, like I said, don't be a stranger, man. Keep hanging out with us, and we'll make it happen.
Okay.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
You too, boss.
Bye now. That was a great conversation. I like to talk to people, man. Sometimes when we disagree or we look at things differently, it's good to have a conversation because sometimes you can air things out. You know, when you start getting into Twitters and all that stuff, there's no tone to it, anything like that. So, that's what it is. Panama Jack says, Coach, that's why I blame the coaches more than the players because it's the coach's job to get the best performance out of third string center. Yeah, I agree, but he's also third string center because he may not just be as talented. You can get the best out of somebody. And I agree with what you're saying, Panama Jack, to an extent. And this is just an illustration. I don't want to sound negative. But if I got a three-legged horse, I can't expect him to win the Kentucky Derby, bro. Like, even though I'm getting the best out of him, you get what I'm saying? That happens sometimes. They're just not very good. That don't mean they trash, but they're just not up to par with the opponent in which they're facing. And that happens, man. All right, man, I take the last call. Somebody said 30 more minutes, Coach. All right, whatever. Let's do it. What time is it? All right, I give you 22 minutes, King Kyle. 972 area code. Call or talk to us.
Come on.
You on live, baby.
Hey, man, what's up, Coach Hayes? Man, look.
What's wrong with you, man?
I've been watching the Hurricanes.
Google man, what's up, baby?
Man, real talk, man. I was texting the show, whatever. I'm telling everybody, man, my T Jones, she's a soldier, man. She made through surgery today. She about to be 80 years old, and she had bleeding in her brain.
Oh no!
And she made through the surgery, man. My mom was a G. Man, I thought she was gonna die. When I finally heard she made it through, man, I started rapping. I lost it, man. My T's on the soldier, man. So I just want to tell everybody, believe in the Lord, man, because my mama, She about to be 80 years old, and,
Wow.
and she made through surgery today.
That's awesome.
I thought you were gonna die, man. Real talk.
Well, I'm glad she's fine, man. I'm glad she is, man. I'm glad she made it through that, man. And definitely prayers up, man, from me to you, and I know definitely the team gonna have prayers up for you as well, man. According to Joe, you know we always got your back, brother.
Yeah. Hey man, now on the lighter note, man, Hurricanes they're gonna be all right, man. Like I will never be like one thing I hate about fans. I know they say fans for fanatic, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to college kids, man, I don't care. They could be like a 6-year senior. I don't care. They're not getting paid. So like some people be like just going in on kids like that. I'm not with that at all. So I want me. I love tradition. So I want the Miami Hurricanes to be doing good, like all the teams from the 80s and 90s, like the Browns. These teams need to be good, but man, the Hurricanes, that's why, and they still got it. But I just say, man, they might just need like the quarterback. He was like at one point in time, like he was kind of cold, but I'm thinking they might need like first of all, I know quarterbacks ain't I know one quarterback ain't gonna make the whole team good, but I can see like a top 10. I can see like a top 2 quarterback coming in there. Or it could be like a 3. It could be a 3. It could be a 3-star recruit. But at the end of the day, if you get a dollar quarterback, and to go out there and lead the troops, and the defense you get good. I'm just saying, I just can't stand people jump off the cliff and call people and trust me. My Cowboy fan base, I cannot stand like most of the Cowboy fans. They do not deserve no Super Bowl at all. First of all, we ain't probably gonna make Super Bowl. But Dak Prescott, he gets so much blame. Like, what is wrong with y'all? But anyway, but them Hurricanes, they're gonna be all right, man. Real talk. And then another thing, I want them boys to win because you deserve. Coach Hayes, you deserve a win, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I deserve a win. Let me have a win too, man.
Yeah, exactly. Coach Hayes, win, Coach Hayes. Win, Coach Hayes.
Win one for me, dog.
Oh. Man, that's all I got for you, man. Coach Hayes, man. I still been watching the show off and on, but I think the other day I seen somewhere where you said where you made the comment earlier that you said something like because you made a comment like about a week ago where somebody sent a text out to you or called you whatever, and you're like, man, ain't seen him a long time. So I said, man, I might need to tap in with Coach Hayes, man. But anyway, my boss, like it been hit around here in my house. So, but
I get it, man.
It is what it is.
Well, listen, man, like you say, our prayers up for you and your family as always, man. I'm glad you always come check on us. But like I say, man, if you ever see us on, even if you're on for 2 seconds, just drop a comment. Because if I miss it on here, I usually go back and check them later, man. I try to. But at least I know you'll be all right. I see your name pop up and so forth, man. But, yeah, just hit us up, man, if anything. I get it. You might miss a show or 2, but when you get to about 3, I start getting worried, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've been I'm the main stuff I've been watching like I'm church, but I don't watch like the last 4-5 post game shows because I am a subscriber, so because so at the end of the day when the show when the ticket thing come on, but okay. Another thing I know every Saturday you're gonna go live after the game, so I got to check it out. But on Saturday, trust me, I be watching all kind of college football. I'm trying to say I really love college football. So I be trying to tell people like, and that's why that day when you first did that shit when you made me a hurricane, I know I fucked up. I said I want to be a hurricane, but at the end of the day, I've been trying to tell people in college football, it's too many teams for me to choose from. But in the NFL, it's one team on Cowboy. I don't care. I would die saying I'm a Cowboy fan. We can lose 10. We can lose 10. We can lose 10 years in a row. I'm gonna still be rooting for the Cowboys. But college football, like every year, like when I'm coming up, I always choose like a black quarterback. Like so I never get so back in 1998, I was pulled for Kansas State. Never pulled for Kansas State before. But they had the boy named Michael Bishop. That boy had a gun. So I was pulled for him. I always pulled for Grambling State because of Eddie Robinson. And I always love Miami. But I love Florida State, but Miami Hurricane, I'm like, well, them boys sweet. And then they got swag. And then after that, like okay, then the 2000s started rolling around. They came back home. Like all them dudes came in 2000. Oh shit, the Florida State started falling off a little bit. And Miami kept on rising. But at the end of the day, I love college football, period. So yeah, man. Every weekend, I told you I got 2 TVs in my room. On Saturday and Sunday, and Sunday the Cowboy game on, I be losing. I lose my mind. I be geek.
You be what?
I be geek. I get that. Real talk. I get that from Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis when he playing with the Ravens, like it was like a pregame. Ray Lewis turned to the camera. He said, "I'm geek." He really hit something. I be ready to hit something. I be telling everybody, my friend, anybody. So one dude come on here. He like a family. He's kind of older. He like a friend of the family. His name Doc. He love the 49ers. So about a week ago, he came over. He came over here about like it was happy like 12 o'clock in the morning. He said, he asked me, "What's up, Corner Joe?" I ain't say shit. I came out there soon. I said, them Cowboy, what's up? He was looking at me on the bed like, oh shit. And then I looked at him. I said, I'm geek. Then I told him, Doc. I said, Doc, I'm about to tackle right now. My two of my sisters in the room, they about to piss on us and laughing at me. I was so serious. I said, Doc, I'm about to tackle right now. I will tackle you. I said, I will Michael Parsons tackle your ass. I said, look, Michael Parsons. Anyway, Michael Parsons is a dog. He's a beast. He's all of that in one. I think that kid was born to play football. And he go get it. In our defense, we got a Super Bowl defense. I don't know what offense gonna do. But one thing about this Cowboy team this season, they're gonna always be in the game because defense travels. And in this defense, we got a pack of dogs. A pack of dogs. And that was the old school Miami team had. So, hey man, trust me, I want to see the Hurricanes 6-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 9-0 in the next season. Want somebody?
I know exactly what you mean, Courtney Joe.
Get some.
That boy said he geeked up.
Yeah, man.
Courtney Joe, I missed you, man.
I missed you,
dog. I'm so happy you okay, bro. I like for real. I get worried about y'all, man. Like, like this dude right here. That's a dude named Smooth, man. He a Bama fan. I converted Smooth too. I got a picture of Smooth. Yeah, I got to put this picture up. Smooth, he a big Alabama fan, but he threw that U up for your boy. He converted too. Yeah, but here go. Look at that. There you go, right there. You know why he came in here? Because I play him in that fantasy, and I'm finna whoop old boy.
Yeah.
Smooth, you finna get that left hook. You finna get it, boy. Nah, I'm just playing, man. I like Smooth, man. He came on with me, man. Listen, bro. Oh, my God. You know what, Ellen? I'm finna write that down. That boy say talking in curse. Listen. Oh, bless my life. Oh. Google, man. Courtney Joe, you the best, bro.
Nah, that's you. That's you, Coach Hayes. That's you.
Yeah,
Real talk. I can say I can see you about 10 years from now on doing some real live commercials and making it, man. I can definitely or I'm put like this. You definitely deserve it because you know what you're talking about, and also you got passion for it. See, I got passion. Now, everybody says, man, I'm a passionate person. So if I love something, like if I fall in love with a chick, I fall in love with her. So I can tell that about you. So you got a lot of passion and you good at what you do. And then another thing, and once you said one day you said somebody it take you like an hour mile to do them videos. I said, man, I ain't no teaching that long to do them. But yeah, man, them video, man, and like the way you break it down, and all them quotes you got, like even talking about ski, man, everybody used to say that back in the hood. Ski, get some. Like man, I'd be like, man, cool, God, when I first seen you, I forgot to tell you this part. You kind of look like my baby mama little brother.
Oh, okay.
Like well,
I thought you said. Hey, hold up. I thought you said I look like your baby mama. I'm about to say.
No.
Okay, your baby mama little brother. Okay, I got you.
No, but like so, like, and the thing is, he really don't. He watch football, but he like one of them dudes that he really don't keep up with football like that. When I first seen you, I was like, man, he look like Marquise. And then when you were talking, I said, oh yeah, he's from the South. He got to be from the South. And then put two and two together. I said, okay, so he from Florida because he's a Hurricane fan. And with that point on, I was like, man. And then I'll tell everybody, man. I was like, I told everybody in my family. I said, man, this dude look like Marquise. So anyway, but yeah, man, you go hard, cause like I told you and the dude named Law Nation that cover the Cowboys, y'all the best thing spoken on this YouTube shit.
I mean
on this YouTube on platform.
Nah, you the best, man. I appreciate you though. You funny, man. But oh God, I love when y'all. Hey, you got to be part of the team, dog. Like I said, that's gonna be. We doing it. It's gonna be called a team. I ain't gonna get rid of the CoachHayes part. I ain't nobody be bigger than nobody else. We just gonna call it the team. I love. We gonna get that done, but boy, never a dull moment. Courtney Joe, I'm getting out of there. I said I had 22 minutes. I ain't got it in me, man.
Yeah.
But listen, they've already said. Listen, they already said. They already said, man, that you got to end every show, man. So next week gonna be tough. I'm gonna be out of town, man. I gotta go get that deal, man. I missed the opening season for this season, man. Messing with my Canes and Duke game.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going this week, so Coach gonna get out there. I won't be able to do a call-in section. We'll just have a talk-in. And like I say, when I close one eye, they close two. Because Coach don't play them games, you know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, man, I hate leaving y'all, man, but I'm here. Y'all too much,
Coach.
man.
Yeah.
No.
I said, all right, now, Coach.
All right, dog. I'm glad you called in, brother. Whew.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. And the best part about it, he called in and I didn't even have a number on the screen. So guess what? He got it. Somebody said, Coach, stay on call. I can't, man. I got to get off. I got work to do, man. I got a real JOB, dog. I ain't just a YouTuber. I'm trying to get there. Huh? Y'all help your boy out. I'm looking for sponsorships, man. Like real, the Cash App. That stuff is great. It's cool. It helps pay bills. It helps us buy the little equipment. But if y'all guys know people that's looking to really sponsor some stuff, let's have a real conversation, man. We got to be able to get this thing and move it to a different level where we can do more things. You know, I love having guys like this on, but we can't do it. It's hard to do. Coach got to still live. And I think I bust my spleen wide open laughing at that dude. I was trying to hold it in. I couldn't. Baby Shaq, I'm sorry, but you going to get this right here. Baby Shaq, where you at, Baby Shaq? Every time you come in here, you start, look at this. Every time you come on my, Baby Shaq, every time you come on here, who put him in a commercial? I must have been a role with no lines. He only was skate. Baby Shaq, you get your behind out of here with that foolishness. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you one from right. You want one more? Matter of get your behind out of here. Every time you come on here, you cause problem. First, it was a porta potty. Now it's cursive. I can't even get my voice back. Oh. Too much pressure. Reggie, man, with the $2 appreciate says, Coach, what have to set dude up with Ms. Wilcox? Man, Ms. Wilcox will kill Google, man. She don't play that. Oh, but anyway, yeah, so if anybody out there, like I say, man, if you guys know any, like I say, companies, we're looking for some real long-term partnerships, not even sponsorship, but more partnerships, man, for the WREs, the Canes Talk Live. Excuse me. I can't. This dude will mess my whole throat up, man. I laughed so hard. I was trying not to laugh because I know the mic was on, and I was losing it. And now that I use the wire, I'm tired. I can't get up and do so. The wire started coming out. Oh, this is too much pressure. This is why I love doing it. It's too much pressure. But anyway, so with all that being said, I'm about to get up out of this deal, man. As you see right here, I got Underdog King. I've been working on some shirts called Underdog King. I'm finna work on that, man. I'm finna work on that. Because I am the Underdog King. All right. Bishop in the building. Appreciate it. Brother Jay Blaze and Coach Hayes 5 Smoke. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I had the Cash App open. Let me make this check it one more time before I go so everybody get their love. This dude done made my whole throat hurt, boy. He too funny. That doggone Courtney Joe. All right. Yep. So we good with the Cash App. So, guys, with all that being said, hey, Chanel, and as always, thank you so much. A63 Kane, your day is coming on the fantasy. Going to whoop you too. As always, you're going to crown me, dog. You're going to crown me. But A63 Kane is the reigning champion right now. This dude got my whole, I gotta go drink some salty water, man. Dude got my whole throat messed up. You right about that, Mark. Mark, I swear to God, you right, dog. So for everybody in here, I gotta go. If not, I'll stay another 25 minutes. I said 22 minutes. Let's just stay 2 more minutes. 11 o'clock, I'm getting off this deal. See what I'm saying? Uh-oh. That fish grease is fire. Hey, you know back in the day, we used to call a thing called Zodiac fish grease. You don't know about no Zodiac fish grease, but that fish grease hot, though, boy. This dude done messed my whole throat up, bro. I love y'all, man. I swear to God. Coach, you going live tomorrow? No. On Wednesday? No, I'm not going live tomorrow. Coach, get him back on the phone. I got to go, man. I got 1 minute left. Camels. Well, I'll tell you, boy. Better tell him about that, boy. Back in the day, boy. Hey, but we got to stop that back in the day talk, guys. We got to start talking today's talk. That back in the day, I get it. We beat it to death. But we got to start making comparisons to today's football, right? The game has changed. The style of play has changed. And I want to try to create that where we don't, let's make those comparisons to great things. Let's not make a comparison. Like I said, we talking 20 years ago, bro. Do we want to be SMU? Back in the day when Eric Dickerson was there. Come on, man. Nah, them days done data. All right. Oh my God, 30 seconds. All right. Them days are done data, man. Let's move forward. Let's not talk about back in the day. I'm going to think of a sound effect I can put up when everybody say, oh, I got one. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. That's it. That's it right there. I'm going to get that. So every time back in the day, I'm going to interrupt them. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm playing that right there. All right. Thank you, King Kyle. Coach, become a Buckeye fan too. We need you. I don't know about that, man. But I did. Buckeyes do support this channel a lot with the WREs. And I'm new to your name. I'm not sure how you say that. But I'm very new to your name, man. So stay tuned. Go check out. I even got a Buckeye playlist, all the different teams, man. So go check it out, man. But Baby Shaq, get off my line, man. I ain't messing with you no more. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Slap your face. All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace, love, and hair grease. Thank y'all for hanging out with us for exactly 3 hours. And I'm gone. Peace.